Ohio gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Drafts Baseball's live commentary of the NPB. Commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with the NPB, the Pacific League, Central League, or their sponsors. We are giving English reports on the game being played and hope English-speaking audiences around the globe can enjoy the games on YouTube and Twitch along with us. And we are going to give you the stuff right off the bat here as we're getting right into the call of the game. It is the first pitch of the ball game delivered from the right-hander Segura to from the right-hander Segura. And it is Masaki Momori who hits a deep fly ball to right field that is run down by Chusei Manami. And that is one pitch and one away here in the first inning. We'll give you the starting lineups in just a couple moments as we are into the game a little bit late tonight. Now batting for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks is the third baseman Taisi Makihara. Makihara is batting .282 on the season with a homer and 9 RBIs. And there is a pitch that's taken for a fastball for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. The living room is in the house, and he says, my buddy Guy is in the house. Can we say hi to him? He's an Oilers fan as opposed to those folks who are Toronto Maple Leaf fans. Feel bad for those guys. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into deep right field. It's going to be off the wall. Digging for two is Makihara, and he is going to cruise in safely with a double. And just like that, this game here is off and running. We've got winner made in the house tonight. We appreciate you being here. So a double for Makihara with one out here, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Yuki Yanagita. For Yanagita on the season, he's hitting .273. He's got 5 homers and 18 runs batted in. Yanagita is getting the nod as the DH tonight, as he is normally in one of the outfield positions, typically either center or in right field. And so here comes the first pitch offering to Yanagita. The right-hander Segura takes a look. He checks the runner at second, and he kicks and fires. There's a fastball that misses outside. And the count now is 1-0 to Yanagita. We got Jack Schwartzhoff in here. We welcome you. He asked the question, who is your pick for this game tonight? To me, it's a no-brainer. I'd be picking the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks for the win. I think Fukuoka's lineup tonight. Top of that, the pitcher Ishikawa versus Segura. It is no doubt in my mind. We've got Shotgun Shell in here too. He says, let's go Hawks. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 1-1 on Yuki Yanagita. I was a little bit behind. Normally I try to get on about 5 to 10 minutes earlier to get the starting lineups. I mean, we're a little jammed on some time, so we're glad we could get here right for the start of the call of the game. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Yanagita. He bats from the left side against the right-handed pitching Segura. He holds at the belt. He checks the runner at second, and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside. And the count now goes to 2-1. Our friend in the living room said, what happened to the betting tips being posted? Yeah, that was the other thing. My whole day went upside down today. And so that's just the way I guess it kind of goes. And so we've got the 808 Rider in here. He says, let's go Hawks. And our friend Wintermaid says he hasn't wagered on a game yet this year, just here for the good content and betting on the Golden Eagles. Appreciate you being here, Wintermaid. There's the 2-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep center field. Racing back onto the warning track and watching it sail into the seats as the center fielder Go Matsumoto. And it's a 2-run homer for Yuki Yanagita. And just like that, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks are off and flying here in the first inning with a 2-run lead. Yuki Yanagita took it to straightaway center field. It was an absolute no-doubter. And that is going to put the Hawks up with a 2-0 lead. So we could barely get rested in our seats. And if any of these fans here are late to the seats, they're going to know that they've already found themselves 2 runs down at the Sapporo Dome in Hokkaido, and the pitcher looks to the sky, wondering what he could do. So now he's going to have to figure out a way to settle down. So Yuki Yanagita absolutely destroys that pitch to straightaway center field and puts the Hawks up with a 2-0 lead. And so here comes the first pitch offering to Yorizabel Graciel. And that misses down. It's a fastball that's 1-0. Our living room says, I needed your expertise. I wound up picking Nippon. Well, you could pick them as long as you got a spread. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted down the right field line. Sliding in is Manami, but he's not going to be able to get it as it bounces in foul territory, and that's going to be a strike to Graciel. Yorizabel Graciel spent some time in North America. He played in the Can-Am League. If you go and take a look at some of his numbers, I don't know how he actually ended up finding his way into the Japanese League, but he played in the Can-Am League, I want to say, for the Quebec Capitals. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1 to Graciel. Yorizabel Graciel was born in 1985. He's not a spring chicken. He's going to be 37 after the season. But he never played in Major League Baseball. The Cuban-born comes the 2-1 pitch. There's a fastball that swung on it. It is line for the line. The count goes to 2-2. It would have been back in 2016. He spent time with as in 2017. And he posted some respectable numbers in that independent league as well. He batted .320, and he later followed it up with a .333 batting average. So here comes the 2-2 offering. Segura delivers. It's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. And Graciel went fishing for the second out of the inning. He has gone for out number 2, and that is going to bring up Akira Nakamura. After he left the Can-Am League in 2017, that was where he hooked up with the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, and so he's been in 2018. He's been in Fukuoka ever since. This is his 5th year with the Hawks, and more than likely he will probably end his career with Fukuoka. Here's the first offering to Akira Nakamura, and it's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Nakamura on the season is batting .281. He's got a homer and 18 runs batted in. He chokes up slightly off the end of the bat. He's got a very upright stance, and it's slightly open. And here comes the pitch. That is a changeup that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Nakamura. When we look at some of the batting averages on the teams around the NPB, there's a lot of teams that have got some suspect averages. There's not one. They can go 8 hitters deep in Fukuoka, and there's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven to deep center field. Racing back is Matsumoto. He makes the over-the-shoulder catch, and that is going to retire Nakamura for out number 2 here in the first inning. So for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, they do some damage. They got 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits. There were no errors and nobody left on base. We're through a half inning. It's Fukuoka 2, Hokkaido nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a moment with the call of the bottom of the first inning. We're glad you guys could be here with us. Hang tight. And we appreciate y'all being here, including Joe, our good friend, like father, like son. Hold tight, everybody.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for checking out Last Wraps. We had some winners in last month's mystery pack giveaway. The names right here, and maybe here are the winners. Make sure you are following the instructions on our other video to qualify this month for a pack of mystery cards from Zero Fox Sports Cards. Thanks for checking it out. Enjoy the ball game.
Appreciate you, Dave. And here's that other video he's talking about. This is for this month's giveaway. Zero Fox Sports. Let him know Last Wraps Baseball sent you. And he's be happy to give you away something here. Here's Dave.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the game and Last Wraps Baseball. This is Dave, Zero Fox Sports Cards. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back, everybody. Shuta Ishikawa has completed his warm-up tosses. And the top of the order coming up for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters, it's going to be Go Matsumoto, the center fielder, leading it off. It'll be Yuma Imagawa, the DH, batting second. And hitting third will be Kotaro Kiyomiya. And the first pitch is swung on. It's grounded to short. It's fielded neatly by Kenta Imamiya. He throws to first. And with one pitch, we have one away here in the top of the first inning. Go Matsumoto, just to note, he's leading the Pacific League in hitting, coming into tonight's game with a .364 batting average. It was a very uncompetitive at bat as he grounds out for out number one. Our friend Troy is in the house as well. We thank you for being here and everybody else who is popping in here tonight. And here comes the first delivery to Yuma Imagawa, and it's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So back to work goes Ishikawa. He delivers a fastball. It's swung on. It's grounded over to third. It's fielded neatly by the third baseman, Makihara, and he fires to first. And that is going to retire Imagawa on a ground out 5-3. And just like that, we've got two away here in the bottom of the first inning. So 2 up and 2 away. And that is going to bring up Kotaro Kiyomiya. Our friend Jack Schwartzhoff says that he put an irresponsible amount on the Hawks. Well, to be honest with you, I think that is probably not a bad thing. And there was a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1 to Kiyomiya. This is a fun part of doing this game with Ishikawa pitching. He gets the ball and he throws, and there's a fastball that misses outside. The count's 1-1. I can barely get my breath, and he goes right back to work with a breaking ball. And that ball is lifted into deep center field. Racing back onto the warning tack is the center fielder, but it's going to be off the wall. He's played it poorly. And rounding second and digging for third is Kiyomiya, and he's going to cruise into third with a triple. It was absolutely poorly played by the center fielder, and that would be Yanagamachi for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. He ran right to the wall. He had no chance to make the catch. It hit up the wall, which is quite a good-sized wall all the way around at the Sapporo Dome. And then when it hit it, he had to chase it down. And so he basically probably turned a double into a triple. Is that what that would have probably been? But that ball was absolutely scorched by the three-hole hitter Kiyomiya, and he is got a triple here. And that's the first pitch. It is a fastball that misses inside. And the count is now 1-0. So I certainly didn't expect that we would see the fireworks here very quickly in the ball game. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Ishikawa. It's a breaking ball that misses outside. And the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Yuki Nomura. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Our friend Mr. Cap is in the house. And our also winner made. As they're putting a few shekels down on the game. And here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down. And the count's now 2 balls and 1 strike. Check that, 3 balls and 1 strike now to Nomura. We're a little behind on our count here. So 3 balls and 1 strike. There's 2 away and a runner on third. And here comes the 3-1 offering. And it's a changeup that swung on and missed. And now the count goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Yuki Nomura. As I'm keeping up with the chat, Winner Made says he's doing pretty good. Here comes the 3-2 offering. And there is a split finger pitch that misses down, and that is going to be ball 4. And now the fighters have runners on the corners with 2 away, and that's going to bring up Chusei Manami. For Manami on the season, he's batting 176. He's got 4 homers and 10 RBIs. Manami is a young fellow getting the nod in right field tonight. Seen him play earlier this year a little bit. Manami He looks like he has a lot of potential. I actually watched him play in a farm game last year. And he is a tall, a lanky fella, batting from the right side. This is his third year that he's appeared in games with the fighters at the NPB level. He turned 22 last month. He's got a little pop in the stick. He's got 4 homers this year. Last year he hit 5 in limited duty. There is a fastball that misses inside. And the count is 1-0. But for a young fella here, he batted 198 last season with 126 at-bats. He's got 85 at-bats already this year, and he's hitting 176. One would like to think that he's going to start to make some adjustments to the pitching as he becomes more experienced. And here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-0. The longer that one stays around the game, the one more that somebody can stay around some of the hitters in the game, the more that they're going to be able to, in other words, be able to start thinking the game a little better. And one would think that Manami's approach at the plate would continue to improve. So here comes the 2-0 offering. And there is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 3-0. So Ishikawa, who recorded the first 2 outs, got tagged for a triple, and then he walked the next hitter. And now he's got himself in a hole, 3 balls and no strikes. So at the start of the stream, when I was asked, who do you think is going to win this game? To me, it was a no-brainer, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. But if this is how Ishikawa is going to start pitching tonight, Hawks could be in some trouble. There is a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to Kenta Imamiya at short. He throws to second, and that is going to retire Nomura. It'll go down as a fielder's choice, 6-4 to retire Nomura for the 3rd out of the inning. So for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters, they had no runs, 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We're now officially through 1 complete. It's Fukuoka 2, Hokkaido, no score. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We're glad you guys could be here with us. Thanks for stopping in tonight. And here is our friend Steve.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day. And there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddy.
Appreciate you, Steve. We thank you for your support. We're getting some entertainment as the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighter cheerleaders are out there dancing. And what you don't see is usually the visiting mascots, but the mascot for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks is in the house in the Sapporo Dome tonight, and he was hamming it up with the cheerleaders. Cheerleaders had some interesting looking cat ears on. That is the entertainment in between innings, and it's going to be Yanagamachi, Ubiashi, and Imamiya here in the top of the 2nd inning. And the first pitch is a breaking ball delivered from Segura, taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. For Tetsuro Yanagamachi, he is getting the nod in center field. He's batting .330. He's got no homers and 11 RBIs. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 0-2. Started to say in the last inning about the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters and the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks batting order. The batters in the Fukuoka lineup, they could go 8 hitters deep where there's some legitimate batting averages. They can put the ball into play. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yanagamachi. Segura gets the sign from his catcher, and he's ready to deliver again. He kicks and he fires. There's a fastball swung on. This is lined just foul down the left field line. It's going to keep the count at 1-2. But they can go 8 hitters deep, and Takuya Kai is really the only one in the batting order that is a bit of a landmine. He's only hitting 198. But outside of that, everybody else in the batting order tonight, there is nobody else hitting less than 273 entering tonight's game for the Hawks. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and there's a fastball swung on it. It is lifted into left field. This ball is going to get down. It short hops in front of the left fielder for the Fighters, and that would be Asama. He almost caught it, but he does a good job in keeping it in front. It's going to be a leadoff single here for Yanagamachi in the second inning. That is going to bring up Seiji Ubiyashi, who's getting the nod in right field. Our friend Wintermaid says that the Leafs had a goal taken away. I'm not sure if the Leafs had a goal taken away as much as Justin Holl, the defenseman, took that goal away. And here comes the right fielder Ubiyashi. Ubiyashi's batting .306. He's got a homer and 12 RBIs. He's 26 for 85 on the season. So right-hander against the left-hander. And here's the offering from Segura. It's a fastball ticket for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Ubiyashi. The right-hander Segura gets the sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. Here comes the offering. It is a fastball that misses inside. Now the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Trying to keep up with Mr. Cap and Wintermaid as they're talking about their stuff. All I know is that if I was betting, I would be putting money on Barry Trotz becoming the coach of the Detroit Red Wings. I think Steve Yzerman is smart enough to be able to snap him up. I think the Toronto Maple Leafs could use him. But I don't think he's going to end up in Toronto. I don't think the Leafs brass are smart enough. There's a throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Yanagamachi. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Ubiyashi. Segura gets his sign. He checks the runner at first. It's a pretty healthy lead there by Yanagamachi. He's got 1 foot on the turf, and there he goes. And then there's a fastball swung on it. It is popped up over on the third base side. Racing over is the catcher, and Ubiyashi slides, but he can't make the catch. The ball's going to bounce and end up in the seats. There's a lot of real estate in foul territory on both sides. We were watching this the other day, and the game that we were calling between the Saitama Cebu Lions and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, lots of real estate in foul territory, especially around the home plate area. So if there's a pop-up, it may not get into the stands right away, but the catcher and the first and third baseman, they got a long distance to have to run. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And here comes the offering from the right-hander Segura. He holds at the belt. He kicks and fires. It's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded through the 6-hole into left field. And that is going to put runners at first and second, and the Hawks are flapping their wings again. They've got something brewing here in the second inning. So they got runners at first and second and nobody out. And the all-time sacrifice bunt leader, Kenta Imamiya, stepping up to the plate. So all I can say, it's probably going to be a sacrifice bunt opportunity here for Imamiya with runners at first and second. And he'll let the rest of the team do the job and bang him home. But on the season, Imamiya has really been swinging the bat well. He's hitting .345. He's got a homer and 13 RBIs. That is not usually his forte. But what is his forte is what he's doing now. As soon as he steps in the box, he's already squaring the bunt. So Imamiya is waggling the bat a little bit here and there. And here comes the offering from Segura, but instead he does the old spaghetti move and fakes the runner back to second base. 334 career sacrifice bunts for Imamiya. He's a lifetime .249 hitter, and this year he is absolutely on fire. He's batting .345. His best year at the plate batting average-wise was back in 2018 when he hit .266. But this year here, he has been putting the ball into play at a feverish pace. So runner at second is Yanagamachi. The runner at first is Ubiashi. And Imamiya is squaring to bunt yet again. And here comes the pitch. And he lays it down. It's a good one. It's over to the first baseman who's crashing in. He throws it over to the second baseman who's covering first. Let's go down now as a sacrifice. 3-4 for the first out of the inning. Yanagamachi moves over to third. Ubiashi is now at first. And that is going to bring up the catcher, Takuya Kai. We will be giving everybody the scores tonight. The out-of-town scoreboard will be keeping it up as it is a full slate of games in the NPB. Game in the Hanshin Tiger game between the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars where the later starts. So that brings up Takuya Kai. Kai on the season is batting .198. He's got no homers and 9 runs batted in. He steps up to the plate, hitting from the right side against the right-hander Segura. Segura gets his side from the catcher, Imbayashi. And here's the first offering. It is a breaking ball, swung on and missed. And the count is 0-1. Sure didn't like that approach at the plate from Takuya Kai. Shotgun Shell says he's a bunting machine, and that is the case. Takuya Kai is exactly that and more. He squares a lot. He bunts a lot. That is his deal. So here comes the 0-1 offering. Segura holds at the belt. He checks the runners, and now he kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And the count is now 0-2 on Kai. As I said, I didn't really like the approach at the plate here by Kai. Both pitches were breaking balls away, and it looked like he was trying to pull something. All he's got to do is just put the bat on the ball, go the other way, and it's probably going to be a base hit. They're not quite up on the grass, or what we would call the grass. It's turf. Quite up on the infield here, as they should be. There is dirt around home plate. There is dirt on the pitcher's mound. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball. Take it for a called third strike. Kai stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 2 here. He was frozen in his tracks. I'm not sure what he was looking for. That was the best pitch of the at-bat. The 2 that he swung at were not very good. Those were breaking balls away, and then he ends up taking a fastball right down the middle. Only person that Kai has to be upset at is Kai himself. And that's going to bring up the second baseman, Masaki Momori. Momori led off the game with a fly out to right field. It was an absolute bullet. He's dropped his average to 277 on the season. He's got 5 homers and 16 RBIs. And here's the first pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It's grounded softly to short. It's fielded neatly by the shortstop, Ishii. He throws to first. And that is going to do it for the Hawks as they go down. After they get the first 2 hitters on base, they end up squandering those leadoff hits here in the second inning. There were no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. We're through 1.5. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Glad you guys could be with us here tonight. Here is our friend Steve again.
Domo arigato. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm new at this. Thank you for watching Last Raps Baseball. Tell all your friends and family to come check him out, ask some questions during the telecast, and give him a good sub and a thumbs up. And this is Steve coming back at you, and some new things on my channel. Star Wars figures that everybody likes. We have Mad magazines from the 1970s. We try to avoid the Noid. And for your pleasure, once in a while, we can open up Michael Jackson if you want, the cards. We have Elvis. We have Sadahar O. We love everything that is everything So we even have the Beatles fighting with lightsabers. Look at that, John and George. Once in a while, we'll even have my brother take over my channel on a Tuesday. So once again, everybody tell your friends, come see Freddie at Last Raps Baseball. And right now, I'm going to kick it right back to you, Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. We appreciate you all being here. Jack Schwartzhoff says, you're wasting your money betting on Nippon. And I have to almost agree with him sometimes that betting for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters right now is like almost throwing money down a drain, especially against the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. And the word I would use to describe this is overmatched. So it is going to be Kazunori Ishii, Daiki Asama, and Yuki Umbayashi to face the right-hander Shuta Ishikawa. And the first pitch is a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. So no balls and one strike. Here comes the offering. And it is a fastball ticket for a called strike. As we said to you, the pace at which Ishikawa works, the batter, Ishii, wasn't even really ready, and he just sort of dropped the bat in disgust. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-2. Shuta Ishikawa wastes no time. He gets the ball, and he is ready to throw. And here we go again. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted foul over on the third base side. And the count remains at 0-2. Something that you don't see often in Major League Baseball. When we talk about working quickly, this is a whole other level of quickness. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And there is a fastball swung on, is grounded slowly over to second. It is fielded by Mamori. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Ishii on a ground out 4-3 for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away. And then it's going to bring up Daiki Asama. Shotgun Shell says, made just flushed some dough. Not sure what that is. So Asama is stepping to the plate. Asama is batting .202 on the season. He's got a couple of homers and 5 runs batted in. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball that misses up and in. And the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. And here comes the fastball that is swung on and missed. And the count is now 1-1. And Mr. Cap says it means that somebody else made money, except Shotgun Shell didn't. And here comes the fastball. This is swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-2. Absolutely can't even catch our breath here. It is just a pace that is unbelievable. As soon as ball's fouled off, he gets another ball. He's ready to go back to work. And here we go again. Another fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 1-2. I think if I'm facing Ishikawa, I'm calling time. I'm stepping out. I'm fixing everything, including my shoelaces, my jock strap, everything. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 2-2. Anything I can do to disrupt this pitcher, get him out of his comfort zone. Here comes the 2-2 offering. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the offering. It is a fastball that misses inside. They appeal down to the third base umpire. And they said Asama didn't go, and that is going to slow things down for us as Asama's got to walk. Now that we get a runner on base, that will take Ishikawa down to a normal rate of pace here. We've actually changed our drinking tonight. Normally we are the iced tea variety to call the games here. But tonight we have chosen the sparkling ice, the coconut pineapple flavor. Well, that's just one of them. We have 3 different ones that we're going through. We just finished off the mango orange. So the runner at first is Asama, and it is Yuki Umbayashi, the catcher, who steps in. And here comes the first pitch from Ishikawa. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away. The count is 1-0. Green tea is not my favorite. I like matcha lattes or matcha coffee, that type of stuff. But decided that we were going to go with the fizz in the drink tonight. And 0 calories, says Mr. Cap. Yep. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and squaring to bunt is the batter Umbayashi, and it pulls back but takes a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters, when you think about this team, every time I watch them, I think of what coulda, mighta, shoulda been in some ways. When you think of the three pitchers that have come from their program, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. Drifting back on it is the right fielder, Ubiyashi. He makes the catch, and that is going to retire Ubiyashi for the second out of the inning. I was thinking of the three pitchers that would make a huge difference for Hokkaido. Number one, Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish was a Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighter. Number two, Shohei Ohtani. How you take those two guys out of your lineup. And number three is Kohei Arihara, who has struggled to find his sea legs with the Texas Rangers. But all three of those pitchers were legitimate arms and would be difference makers for the fighters. But of course, they went to greener pastures in Major League Baseball. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Well, what they did do is they got money for them in the posting fees, and that's, of course, going toward the building of their new stadium. If you haven't seen designs of the stadium, it's supposed to look pretty great. They've got a condo that's also built into it. I want to say about 400 people that will live right on the property or adjacent to it. There's a fastball that misses outside. The count is now 2-0. So they were able to sell off those players, be able to pack their wallets full of money. And, of course, that is going to help to build that stadium. And here comes the 2-0 pitch. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes to Tatsuki Maruno, who is batting for the first time tonight. He's the 9-hitter in the batting order. He's batting .083, and he's got nothing across the slash line. So 3 balls and no strikes, and he's swinging 3-0, and he swings and misses. The count is now 3-1. I'm not sure I'm letting my 9-hole hitter have a green light up 3-0 when he's batting .083 on the season. So 3 balls and no strikes. When he gets back to the dugout, we're probably going to have to sit him down and explain a few things to him. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Comes the offering. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count goes to 3-2, especially that 3-0 pitch. It looked like it may have been debatable for ball 4. It was on the outside part of the plate. The umpire, if the pitcher hadn't been around for the first 3, may not have given him that one. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mizuno. And here's the offering. It is a breaking ball that misses down and in. And he is now going to be aboard on a base on balls. That's the second walk of the inning issued by Ishikawa. There's now runners on first and second, and the leading hitter in the Pacific League is coming to bat. That is Go Matsumoto. As we mentioned, Matsumoto entered the game tonight hitting .364. The speedy center fielder has no homers and 8 RBIs, but he does have 12 stolen bases. The dimensions, I'm curious, I'm going to be pulling it up to see what the dimensions are of the Sapporo Dome. But I will say, in foul territory, there are some cavernous spaces right behind home plate. It looks like you're going to need a go-kart or a scooter to get to the backstop. And there's a first pitch fastball swung on and fouled straight back. When you think of Fenway Park or Wrigley Field or some of these stadiums around Major League Baseball, it feels like you're right on top of the play. This is a ballpark where you're going to need binoculars to come and to watch the game, and you're just sitting right behind home plate. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. And they kick and deliver. It's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. That drives me crackers. Takuya Kai drops the ball. It was one of those 50-50 pitches. As it was kind of inside, he turned his glove over. The umpire still gives him the call. That turns the count now to 0-2. But you got to earn that pitch, and the catcher's got to be able to squeeze the ball. So no balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the offering from Ishikawa. It's a breaking ball that misses down. They appeal down to first. And the first base umpire said no, Matsumoto didn't go, and it is going to run the count to 1-2. Our friend Shotgun Shell says finding us for late night gambling is a gambling miracle. Well, when the interleague play comes on, we're going to find out who the real gamblers are, because we'll be up at 2 a.m. Pacific time calling those games in another couple of weeks during the week. Love watching the interleague games. So we're going to go through a lot of different teams. When that gets closer, we'll post the schedule. We got to turn our days around a little bit. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined over the head of the second baseman. It's down. They're going to get one run in. Here's the throw into second. It is cut off. And that looks like, is it going to get 2 runs in or just the one? Nope. The only run that crosses the plate is going to be Asama. He is going to be driven in for the first run of the ball game. So a single and an RBI for Matsumoto. And that is going to keep the beat running for him the way he's been swinging. Mizuno goes all the way around to third. They got runners on the corners, and it is going to be Yuma Imagawa stepping to the plate. Our friend Vivid Life is in the house. He says, give me the NPB. Finally got in. Another crazy night, guys. There's nothing like working in the hotel industry that can make things crazy for you. I can't say that I experienced working in the hotel industry, but I know I have a relative that did, and I've got friends that do, and I'm sure over the course of some of these nights, we can probably slip a hotel or 2 story in there. And probably when I tell the story, Vivid Life is probably saying, I've heard something like that before. Wintermaid says, I don't know if I can make 2 a.m. work. I work at 4. Just set the alarm earlier, and we'll be able to get ready to go. So we'll see what happens. Shotgun Shell says the LA Kings loss. I did catch the end of that little bit there with the Oilers and the Kings. I flipped on my TV when I got in. There's a fastball swung on this ball. Oh, my goodness. You guys have no idea what I just witnessed. I can't even describe it. Takuya Kai went to throw the ball instead down to second base because it's a first and third situation. Looked like they wanted to throw it to the pitcher. Instead, he ends up spiking it into the ground to the right of, or to the left of the pitcher going towards second base. It ends up dribbling over to the shortstop. The fighter's bench is all laughing. I don't know what they had planned here, but the pitcher who bounced over, it actually hits his glove, ends up bouncing. The runner scores from third. And that's going to be a stolen base each way. But I think their plan was to throw it to the pitcher, and it was absolutely butchered. So Matsumoto is going to get himself a stolen base. Mizuno will get the stolen base of home on the double steal, and this game is all tied up. I don't know what the Hawks are doing here, but maybe some of our listeners who picked the Fighters weren't necessarily wrong. But that was absolutely Little League Baseball at its finest. And I didn't get the count there on Imagawa because I was laughing so hard at that play that was absolutely butchered by the Hawks here. I feel bad for some of the Hawks fans who are in here. You had to listen to that. Holy smokes. So that was the strike called to Imagawa. It's no balls and 1 strike. The runner at second is Matsumoto. And Ishikawa, who likes to work quickly, has got himself into some trouble here. And there's a first pitch fastball swung on by Imagawa. It is lifted into right field. Moving over underneath it is the right fielder Ubiyashi. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to do it here for out number 3. But the Fighters get a couple of runs back. They got 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 1 hit. There were no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 2 complete. It is Fukuoka 2, Hokkaido 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Let's see what more entertainment can be provided to us here. Here is our friend Steve.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you, Steve, and your support of the channel. The reason Steve can't read the back of the cards is that Steve really has trouble reading. And let's not be fooled by that. Even though it is in French, we all know that Steve does struggle with his reading and writing skills. But nevertheless, we're pleased to have him as a supporter. And once again, we are back now for the top of the third inning. It is going to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming to bat for Fukuoka. We're again getting that highlight again of what the Hawks tried to do there. They tried to have the pitch by Ishikawa. He started to step off the right, almost to the right side of the mound toward third base. It was an absolute terrible, disastrous play that ended up costing them the run. And the first pitch is a breaking ball delivered to Taisi Makihara, and it is ball one. That pitch misses low and inside. Makihara is 1 for 1. He doubled and scored a run his first time up. And he came around on that home run by Yuki Yanagita. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes on Makihara. It has to definitely kind of make me, I want to cry a little bit here as I watch that play. It was absolutely butchered. To see professional teams make mistakes sometimes, it just makes you shake your head. So here comes the 2-0 pitch. There is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow left field. Coming in on it is the left fielder, and that is Asama, and he's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Makihara for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that is going to bring up Yuki Yanagita. There was a fellow that I used to coach with. He was telling me a story one time that he used to coach with one of the Latchman brothers. I can't remember if it was Rene or Marcel Latchman. I remember one of the Latchman brothers was the manager of the Seattle Mariners. And anyways, what he used to say to some of his teams before they would take the field, they'd go, "Okay, boys, let's put on our costumes. It's time to go out and entertain." And I guess his philosophy is we were either going to entertain because we're a bunch of clowns, or we're going to entertain because we can actually play. But he never called the uniforms as much as he called them costumes. And there's the first pitch fastball that was fouled away by Yanagita, and the count is 0-1. And I guess there's some merit to that. There's a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-1. Well, last inning, the Hawks must have put on their clown outfits as they went out there as well. So Mr. Cap says he was too lazy to put more money in Bovada account until a couple of minutes ago, and then I came back and read winner's comment. And there's a changeup that misses down, and the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. I'm curious to see how this all shapes down here. I still think the Hawks are going to win this game. I know the fighters are playing on emotion, but there's just too much depth in that Fukuoka lineup tonight. And there's a fastball swung on. This is belted foul. It's going to reach the seats well down the right field line. That's going to get the count to 2-2. Winner says, "I'll throw down the Hawks if the Pawn gets a lead." Yeah, probably so. Their offense is rather thin. He may have used up some of those bullets already. Here comes the 2-2, and it is a fastball that is swung on and missed. And Yanagita goes out on strikes for the second out of the inning. The one thing that you don't know from the gambling odds is we don't know where the Hawks went after the game last night. Did they go out on the town? Were they out there drinking? How late did they stay out? What was the sake like? Was it hot or was it cold? Did some of the fellas decide to indulge a little bit more? Those are the other pieces of the scouting information we don't always get. So this is going to bring up Yurizabel Graciel. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. And here comes the first offering from Segura. It's a fastball. This ball is swung on. It is lined to left field. Racing over is Asama. He makes the catch. And that is going to do it. As Yurizabel Graciel is gone for out number 2. Or out number 3 here in the third inning. That was the second fly ball to left field. So for the Hawks in their half of the third, there were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 2.5. It is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 2, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We're coming back with the bottom of the third inning for you in just a moment. Here is our friend Matt.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
We appreciate you, Matt, and your support of our channel, and in turn, we support Matt Hollis. Be sure to check out another Hollis build after the game. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this reminder again from our friend Dave.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for checking out Last Reps. We had some winners in last month's mystery pack giveaway. The names right here, and maybe here are the winners. Make sure you are following the instructions on our other video to qualify this month for a pack of mystery cards from Zero Fox Sports Cards. Thanks for checking it out. Enjoy the ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. We are back here. It is in the bottom of the third inning. And the first pitch that was delivered to Kentaro Kiyomiya was a breaking ball that was swung on and missed. The count is 0-1. Ishikawa goes back to work quickly, and he delivers a fastball up and away for a ball, and it's 1-1. Ishikawa gets it again, and he fires, and it's now 2-1. And as we talked about here a moment ago, he wastes no time in delivering pitches. Here comes the 2-1 offering. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 2-2. It is a race every time he gets the ball. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and there is a breaking ball that just misses down, and the count is now 3-2. I have to say, I'm not so sure about that last pitch. That one looked pretty darn good, but that might have been the home call that the fighters have been seeking. There's a fastball on the outside corner. They appeal down to third base. The third base umpire says Kiyomiya didn't go. Kiyomiya looked like he was walking back to the dugout as he was going to be retired on strikes, but instead that's going to be ball 4. I took a look at the replay on that one, and Takuya Kai has a case. But Kiyomiya's got himself ball 4, and he is on his way to first base. One thing I will say is that Ishikawa has walked a pile of guys already here in these first 2 innings plus of work. 4 base on balls. And with that in mind, you can't defend walks. As long as he keeps walking guys, the fighters have a chance. Fighters have 2 hits in this ball game. They are not a mash unit by any stretch. So here comes the third baseman Yuki Nomura to the plate. And Ishikawa instead throws over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Kiyomiya. So here comes the first offering. Oh, they squared a bunt, and that is taken for a called strike. And Nomura, it's 0-1. Nomura is 0 for 0 tonight. He was one of the first players to walk in the ball game. He was raced on a fielder's choice. So no balls and 1 strike to Nomura. The right-hander Ishikawa slows right down when he gets runners on base. He's working from the stretch. He holds at the belt. He kicks and fires. There's a fastball swung on. It's tapped back to the pitcher. His only play is going to be to first. He almost threw that one away. It's a nice play by the first baseman, Akira Nakamura, to have to step into foul territory to make that grab. That is going to be a ground out to 3 for out number 1. And that is going to bring up the right fielder, Chusei Manami. Living Room says he walked away. It was 2-0. And now it's 2-2. What happened, he says. Well, that's exactly what we were saying. What exactly happened? A couple of walks with 2 outs. The next thing you know, it was a single. And then a double steal. You missed a lot of action there, Living Room. So here comes the First pitch to Manami. And it is a fastball swung on. It's grounded into the 6th hole. Imamiya fields it. He fires across the diamond, and it's not in time. It is a safe call. I think the Hawks may want to have a look at this one. What a great play into the 6th hole by Kenta Imamiya. He backhanded it. He fired it across the diamond. We're going to get a look at this one. We're going to see if the Hawks are going to take a look at it as well. He backhanded it there. He planted across the diamond. And probably, let's see this different angle. Nope, it is going to be safe. A nice job by Manami to run it down all the way down. Living Room says I should now reveal I put all my cash on the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. Now they got runners at first and second. That's going to be an infield hit for Manami. That's going to bring up the shortstop Kazunori Ishii. For Ishii, he is officially 0 for 1 today. He grounded to the second baseman his first time up. And now Ishikawa checks the runner at second with one away. Here's the offering. It is a fastball popped up behind the shortstop, and it is going to be in shallow left field. Imamiya races back. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Ishii for the second out of the inning. One thing I would say with regards to the fighters and their approach at the plate would be undisciplined. I really don't like their team approach at the plate, and I think that's reflective is that they have a lot of young players in their lineup. They need a couple of veterans in their lineup, a couple presents. There's really not anything on the offensive side in terms of international players. I don't consider the Taiwanese star Po Jung Wong as one of those ones, as he's not done anything to deserve a regular place in the lineup in the NPB. And here comes the first offering to Daiki Asama. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Asama. I will say this, though, if you're wanting to say some of the better looking or snazzier looking uniforms in the league, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters, I do like their uniform look this year of choice. There is a breaking ball in the dirt, and the count goes to 1-1. And that maybe is because they're trying to distract the opposition, or at least to get their attention away. Hey, we got to look good if we can't play good. And I do like the way that that uniform does look. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And here comes the pitch from Ishikawa. It swung on and grounded foul down the first base line. And the count now is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Asama. Asama's been busy tonight in left field. He's made a couple of putouts in that last inning. And here comes the 1-2 pitch as Ishikawa holds at the belt. He checks the runner at second. Now he kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. As we mentioned tonight, it is not an iced tea night. We're going with the sparkling ice fizz drinks. This is going to keep us going, hopefully, for the whole evening. Here comes the 2-2 offering. And there is a breaking ball. This is swung on. This ball is golfed into right center field. It's going to get down. It's extra bases. 1 run is in. Asama digging for 2. And 2 runs are in. And Asama's got himself a couple of RBIs. And the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters are now up 4-2 on the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. And Asama's got himself a couple RBIs. So for those of you who picked the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters, I certainly would not have had this early on. It was almost an excuse me swing as the batter Asama golfs it into right center field. He's got himself 2 RBIs as Kiyomiya and Manami cross the plate, and it's a 4-2 lead now for the fighters. So a double and 2 RBIs for Asama. And that brings up Yuki Umbayashi, the catcher who is 0 for 1 today. And there is a breaking ball that catches the inside corner, and the count is quickly 0-1. So Imbiashi in the hole, 0-1. Well, for me, I would have said for sure that it would have been the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks tonight. You look at their lineup that they're rolling out versus these, what I would call single A lineup from the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2. But that is why you play the game, I suppose. As we said, maybe it was a late Saturday night for the Hawks. Maybe they decided that they were going to go have a couple of extra Sapporos. So here comes the 0-2 offering to Imbiashi. Holding at the belt is Ishikawa. It's a breaking ball that swung on and lifted foul. Reaches the seats over on the first base side. So I'm wondering, if I went to a game in Japan, if you can't take the foul balls, if I got a foul ball and I beat it down the aisle before the ushers got there, would I be able to do that? Our friend Shotgun Shell says it doesn't matter. $1,000 to you could be $5 to me. I bet $25 played with the Celtics tomorrow. And here's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the countdown goes to 1-2. The Celtics and the Bucks are going tomorrow. I'm really curious to see how that is going to play out. I do think the way that the Celtics have been playing and the fact that Chris Middleton is not in the lineup is a game changer. He hasn't been in the lineup the whole series as he's injured. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Imbiashi. The runner at second is Asama. There is 2 away, and the fighters have 2 more runs on the board. Here comes the 1-2 offering. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats on the first base side again, and the count remains at 1-2. Mr. Cap says, I would pay money to see a fight off the ushers. Yeah, you know, it's kind of like going to a University of Michigan football game when the ball gets kicked in for an extra point or a field goal, and the student body gets it, and they throw it all the way up to the top and out of the stadium. I just want to know who's the guy standing outside of the stadium ready to catch that football to run off with it. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's tapped slowly over to third. It's fielded neatly by Makihara. He throws to first. That is going to retire Imbiashi on a ground out 5-3, but the fighters do more damage in the third inning. We got 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 3 complete. It is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters 4. You heard it. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment with the call at the top of the 4th inning after this from our friend Steve again. Steve Rademacher.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming up to bat for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. It's going to be Akira Nakamura, Tetsuro Yanagamachi, and Seiji Ubiashi. When I look at the game here tonight and I think about the lineups, I also think about the Fukuoka lineup over here, and I think of the bullpens. Whose bullpen do I like better? I like the Fukuoka bullpen better than the Hokkaido bullpen. And here comes the first offering to Nakamura, and it is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So the game is not over yet. Segura, not like he has done anything this year to deserve the pitching performance that he's showing here tonight. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is now 1-1. But you got to tip your hat to the pitcher here for the Fighters. He has really settled down after that 2-run bomb in the first inning by Yuki Yanagita. And here comes the 1-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our friend Shotgun Shell was talking about the LA Kings and about what he would have done had the Kings possibly scored the first goal tonight. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded over to second. It is fielded on the run by the second baseman Mizuno. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Nakamura on a ground out 4-3 for out number 1. And that is going to bring up the center fielder Tetsuro Yanagamachi. Just a few programming notes. I'm not 100% sure when we are going to call our next NPB game. We have a holiday weekend next weekend in north of the border, and I'm looking to head down into the United States for at least 1 or 2 nights. So I'm kind of 50-50 on if I'm going to call something. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. And that ball is going to get through for a base hit as Yanagamachi is on with a single. So he is aboard, and that is going to bring up the right fielder, Seiji Ubiashi. We are going to call some Major League games during the daytime, and we're sketching out that schedule, but our schedule right now, as it looks, is probably going to be on Tuesday. We're going to call the White Sox and the Kansas City Royals. On Wednesday, we're going to call the Braves and the Brewers. That's going to be an early morning game on the West Coast. And then the Padres and the Phillies on Thursday. And after that, we're going to have to make some decisions because I'm not, as I said, 100% sure what I'm going to do or where I'm going to be. So hopefully we can give a few more here or make some decisions there as well. There's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1 to Ubiashi. Ubiashi is 1 for 1 today. He singled in the second inning. So he is got 1 hit here tonight, but he was stranded at second after Kenta Imemiya had sacrifice bunted them over. So here comes the 0-1 offering. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. I am considering actually doing a Major League game tomorrow morning. And the reason for that is we've got rain in our area here in Vancouver, so my day may change completely for where I have to be or where I've had to have been. So no balls and 2 strikes to the right fielder, Ubiashi. The right-hander, Segura, checks the runner at first. He comes set at the belt. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. That's going to keep the count at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Regardless, we will keep you posted because usually we try to give a couple of days notice as far as what is going to happen and where we're going to call some stuff. But I haven't, as I said, decided yet what's going to happen tomorrow. So here comes the 0-2 offering. And Segura kicks and fires. It's a fastball that misses well off the plate. The count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Segura has thrown 47 pitches to this point. It's been fairly economical for him. I would say if you're the Fighters, he's probably going to give them at least 6 innings tonight based on this. Might not have predicted that at the outset. Here comes the 1-2 offering. And that ball is spiked into the dirt. Good stop by the catcher, Ubiashi, to keep it in front. It's going to run the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ubiashi. I'd be curious to see if they put Yanagamachi in motion here to stand at the double play. Sometimes you'll see that the managers will get them going here on the 2-2 pitch. This is a good opportunity for a strike him out, throw him out. And they are concerned and throwing over to first and again diving back in time is Yanagamachi. Ubiyashi's had himself a very nice season this year as he entered the game tonight hitting .306. Not a lot of juice in the bat. The only player that has multiple, what I call serious home runs, actually, there's two players in the lineup tonight, and that's Momori and Yanagita. And of course, Yanagita has a home run tonight. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Ubiyashi has gone on strikes for the second out of the inning. So 2 away, and that's going to lead it up to Kenta Imamiya. For Imamiya, he is officially 0 for 0 tonight because he had a sacrifice bunt back in the second inning. As we said before, he is a sacrifice bunt machine, but he has been a hitting machine this year, as he's got a .345 batting average, and they could use that now. He does have 13 runs batted in. And here comes the first offering to Imamiya. It's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So usually Imamiya, we've normally seen him up in the top part of the order, hitting usually second. But he is in the 8th spot. This year we've seen him a little bit more down in the lower part of the order. So the runner at first is Yannick Amachi. It is Imamiya at the plate. And here comes the 1-0 offering. And it is a fastball taken for a called strike on the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Shotgun Shell says, do it. I can't remember what it was because I jumped off the screen for a minute. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Probably talking about the early morning game tomorrow. I have to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, or at least the MLB scoreboard or schedule for tomorrow, if we are going to call one. As I say, it's going to be one of those we're going to have to just take a look and see what is going to be offered. It'll be probably the 10 o'clock games on the West Coast, 10 a.m. that is. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count goes to 2-1 to Imamiya. Also try to look for a decent pitching matchup. The real early morning game is the Padres and the Braves. If I want to get up at 8:35 in the morning, we can have a peek at that one. The Astros and the Nationals could be something worth watching, but the problem is the Nationals aren't. It is Verlander on the mound for Houston. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Count goes to 2-2 on Imamiya. The Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates will not enter my visual. And even though I'm a Tiger fan, I'm not going to do the Orioles and the Tigers. I will protest that game. That really leaves me to 3 games. The Brewers and the Marlins. It's too bad the Brewers are playing the Marlins, even though the Marlins are playing decently. Only 3 games below 500. But we're not going to subject ourselves to that. The Blue Jays and the Rays, that could be decent as it's Manoah against Springs, but I am leaning toward the Mariners and the Mets. There's a fastball that misses up and in, and the count is now 3-2 to Imamiya. So probably if we're going to do something tomorrow, Robbie Ray goes against Carlos Carrasco. It's got all the makings of an entertaining game. So probably we would lead ourselves or lend ourselves toward that. So stay tuned if we wake up tomorrow and decide that's what we're going to do. And that'll be the call of the game that we will entertain. So here comes the 3-2 offering. And there is a fastball that's taken for a called third strike. Imamiya goes down looking for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Hawks in their half of the 4th. They had no runs. There was 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're through 3.5. It is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 4, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We'll carry right on here with another one. So hang tight, guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We'll be right back in just a second. It is a 4-2 lead for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. They are coming to bat here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Stick around. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the fourth inning. It's going to be the 9-1-2 hitters in the batting order for the fighters. It means it's going to be Mizuno, Matsumoto, and Imagawa to face the right-hander Shuda Ishikawa. Ishikawa is beginning his fourth inning of work. He had 64 pitches through the first 3 innings. And it'll be Mizuno stepping up. Mizuno is got a walk today. He scored a run and he stole a base. His first time up, and he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Mizuno entered the game hitting 083, and he takes a fastball down, and the count is 1-1. That would drive me crackers as a manager. The guy who's batting 083 gets a walk, and eventually comes around to score. He's hitting 083 for a reason. There's a fastball that misses inside. The count is now 2-1. And that's usually because he's not very good. And so there's nothing worse than walking guys who can't hit. 2 balls and 1 strike to Mizuno. And there's a fastball that is swung on. It is grounded foul down the first base line. It's going to run the count to 2-2. Not that we're picking on Mizuno, but he is batting in the 9 spot. He's in the lower third of the batting order. So the numbers do speak for themselves. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, and here's the offering from Ishikawa. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded to second, and that looks like it is going to be a booted ball by the second baseman, Momori. He tries to go to his backhand. As far as I'm concerned, that's a play that should have been made. We're going to have to wait and see what the official scoring is on that one, but I'm already throwing down an error. We're going to see what they have to say about that with Mizuno here in just a moment. And that is going to bring up the top of the order and go Matsumoto. So Matsumoto tonight, he is officially 1 for 1. He's got an RBI, and he's got himself a stolen base. So here comes the first pitch offering, but instead Ishikawa throws it over to first, and getting back in time is the base runner, Mizuno. So Mizuno, they're concerned about him for sure, and they're also looking at Matsumoto at the plate here. Is this a situation where Matsumoto might try to push a bunt down? Or do you take the bat out of the best hitters in the league? Again, they throw over to first base, and again, Mizuno goes diving back. Mizuno does not have a stolen base. They've given Mizuno a hit on that one. That's a little bit surprising. Maybe they felt that Mizuno would have beaten that one out, so no error charged to the second baseman, Momori. So here comes the offering. They do square to bunt, does Matsumoto, but he takes that breaking ball up high for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Matsumoto. Matsumoto digs in. He's hitting from the right side. He's waiting on the offering from Ishikawa. And again, Ishikawa throws over to first as Matsumoto's already squared to bunt. So we'll see what happens here as some of our gambling friends are in the chat tonight. At what point in time does the tide turn here for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks? I think the tide turns when the bullpens start to take over for both teams. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. And again, throwing over to first base. is Ishikawa, again diving back safely as Mizuno. Our friend Wintermaid says, don't do that. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks are going to flip this over. I just have that feeling tonight. I'm still staying with it. I called Fukuoka at the beginning of the game here. And here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Matsumoto showed no sign to bunt that time. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The SoftBank Hawks are going to do their best Tampa Bay Lightning impersonation as they knock out the Maple Leafs here. The Fighters are making everybody feel secure. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats. As of course, we're making hockey references here in the Japanese baseball game. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to go Matsumoto. The crowd is a festive one in Hokkaido tonight. They've got their thunder sticks out. They're clapping, giving their team a bit of burst of energy. They've got a lot to be happy about as they have the lead here. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Matsumoto. Matsumoto again digs in. He's ready to get the offering from Ishikawa. Ishikawa is a totally different pitcher when there's runners on base. He goes to completely slows right down, and he throws over to first again. And again, diving back safely is Mizuno. Who would have thought that this game would be a 4-2 scoreline for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters in the 4th inning? Certainly not I. So here comes the 1-2 offering. He kicks and delivers, does Ishikawa. It's a breaking ball that misses inside. Takuya Kai not happy with the call. You can see he holds the ball there. We're going to get the replay of this one. The only person that Kai should be upset about is because the way he received that ball, he presented it like it was a pitch inside. I think if he backhands that ball rather than catches it vertically, he's going to get that call. But that's going to run the count to 2-2, and so here comes the 2-2 offering. Ishikawa delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted foul down the right field line. It's going to reach the seats, and the Kids keep the count at 2-2. Mr. Cap says he just put $5 on the Hawks to win. I'm telling you right now, the Hawks are going to win this game. Shotgun's Shell said Wintermaid said a prayer before the game. I'm telling you right now, this game is all about the Hawks coming back. Here's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined down the right field line. If it stays fair, it's in trouble. It is fair. Digging for third is Mizuno, and he's going to get in there standing up. It's a base hit for Matsumoto. There is now runners on the corners with nobody out here in the 4th inning. And that is going to bring up Yuma Imagawa. And if the Fighters can score another one, you might even win more. Can't believe it. The Fighters are doing damage here to Ishikawa. And that's going to bring up as we said, the designated hitter, Yuma Imagawa, who is 0 for 2 today. What the pitcher Ishikawa needs here is a strikeout. Let's see if they can figure out how they're going to do this. They butchered the 1st and 3rd the last time as Mizuno stole home. Let's see how they're going to approach this one. Ishikawa is going for a walk out the backside of the mound. He's talking to his shortstop. Maybe they're going to try the same play again. It almost got Ishikawa decapitated. So runners on the corners. There is nobody out here in the 4th inning. The Fighters are threatening to score. Curious to see if they're going to play the whole infield in here. or if they're just going to keep the corners in. So Yuma Imagawa waits at the plate. And here comes the first offering from Ishikawa. It's a fastball that misses up. And the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Imagawa. The way the defense is playing here is they're hunting for 2 in the middle. They've got the corners in. So they will trade runs for the out if the ball is grounded to short or second. And they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner, Matsumoto. It's 1 ball and no strikes here to Imagawa. This game here has got kind of a, I don't know, even though there's been entertainment here, there's also been some slow play at times where they keep throwing over to first base. There's a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed, and the count goes to 1-1 on Imagawa. Imagawa is 0 for 2 tonight. As we said, he's flown to right and grounded to third. So here comes the 1-1 offering. And again, they throw over to first base. And again, diving back safely is the base runner, Matsumoto. What kind of tricks the Hawks have up their sleeves here? Living Room says, why hasn't, you could kind of put upon Ham Fighters scored like last time. And there they squared a bunt. The bunt is down. And there's only going to be one play. And that play is going to be to first base as the bunter, Imagawa, gets it down. And it is going to be a run-scoring squeeze as Mizuno crosses the plate. A really good play by the batter runner. Imagawa bunted the ball down. And then they were going to come to tag him. And then he stopped and backed up. I thought we were going to see a Javi Baez type play from last year. He gets the ball down. It was fielded by the first baseman. The first baseman has nowhere to go, and then he throws it over to the second baseman covering first. It's going to go down as a sacrifice, 3-4 for the first out of the inning, and that advances Matsumoto into scoring position. It's now a 5-2 lead for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Who would have thunk it? Brings up the first baseman, Katara Kiyomiya. And the first pitch is a fastball ticket for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Well, it might have been all the fans jumping on the Fighters bandwagon tonight, but I still say this isn't going to be the case. I still believe the Fighters are going to win this game, or not win this game. It's going to be the Hawks who are going to come back. So no balls and 1 strike. Again, Ishikawa holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Down the first base line, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So no balls and 2 strikes. To Kiyomiya. He bats from the left side against the right-hander Ishikawa, and here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Find it a bit weird tonight just on the amount of stuff that's coming in and out. I don't know if if our feed is crazy or any of that type of stuff. There's the fastball that is swung on, and it is lifted into the seats down the third base line. Living Room says, if you're coming to Windsor in August, let's bet a dinner that the Hawks will lose. I still think the Hawks are coming back, but I wouldn't put dinner on it yet. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kiyomiya. If I was putting dinner on it, I would definitely put a dinner on Tommy's, the former TBQ Tunnel Barbecue place. There's a fastball inside, and it is hit Kiyomiya. Of course it would. Now that's going to put runners at first and second. As Kiyomiya has been drilled by the pitch. That's going to bring up Yuki Nomura. So it's gone from bad to worse for the Hawks. Living room, if he's not sure what Tommy's is. Tommy's for a while was down on Erie Street. For those who are listening, we're talking about in Windsor, Ontario. There used to be, for a long time, there used to be a place, and it looks like we've got a pitching change. We've got a pitching change for the Hawks. We're going to get you that here in a minute. We'll get you that update here in just a second. We've got a right-hander coming in. I do believe as Ishikawa is done, we're going to check that. Ishikawa is done for the night. He goes 3 1/3 innings, throwing 84 pitches as he plunks Kiyomiya to put runners at first and second. And we'll get you that change in just a moment. We're going to be talking food here for just a couple of minutes. The living room, the TBQ used to be the Tunnel Barbecue was downtown. They used to have the other place out on Dougal Avenue. And for those of you, our American friends who aren't sure what that is, there used to be, you would come out of the tunnel out of Detroit into Windsor, and there would be a place that had barbecued chicken and barbecued ribs. And it was a big deal. People would literally just come over across to get that and go back home and take it with them. It was one of the best. There was another place called the Top Hat right around the corner. And so those were the two locations that would have ribs in the city of Windsor. Those were kind of rib houses. Well, they closed up about maybe 15 or 20 years ago. And the one fellow, the Rakavitas family that owned the Tunnel Barbecue, they opened up a place called Tommy's on Erie Street, which is in the Italian district of Windsor. And then that kind of closed up, and then they moved into the Roundhouse across from Devonshire Mall. Anyways, if you want your ribs and you want some chicken, that's the place to go. They do a great job. If you're ever in Detroit, you want to take a quick skip across the border, that's what you got to do. So I'll get you the pitching change here. We'll be right back in just a moment. We'll give you the call here in the bottom of the fourth inning, as it is a 5-2 scoreline. But hang tight, everybody. Here's Dave.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the game and Last Raps Baseball. This is Dave, Zero Thought Sports Cards. If you like pack openings, baseball, all that good stuff, check us out. Drop a comment on our channel this month to win a mystery pack of cards. All you gotta do is say Last Rap sent you to be entered. And we'll drop a video later on this month announcing the winner. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back, everybody. We do have a pitching change, and we're getting you that update in just a moment. I'm just going through some of the roster and the changes here, and I'm taking a look at what we have for our stuff here as the Hawks have gone to the pen. Looks like it's number 66, Yuki Matsumoto, into the ball game as he is taking over. Some of my lineups have to be updated a little bit as there have been some transactions in the NPB. So Matsumoto in to face Yuki Nomura with one away here in the bottom of the fourth inning. So here comes the first offering from Matsumoto. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Nomura. Living room says, Rakavitas, wow, you're compendium of knowledge. Yeah, Tommy Rakavitas used to own that place. That's, of course, what they were naming them after. And barbecue all day, absolutely. The other piece to that is they used to make some really good cakes. So if you wanted a tort or a French tort or a German type of cake, yeah, that was the other piece for that too. Cakes and pies. As that fastball misses in, and the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The right-hander Matsumoto, who's on in relief here, checks the sign from his catcher, Kai. He comes set at the chest. Now he kicks and delivers. That ball is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-1. You got to like your barbecue. I mean, I don't know about our American friends. I know there's certain places. I had a pretty good barbecue when I was in Nashville, Tennessee. I was in Nashville, also went for some barbecue when I was in Dallas, Texas. You got to go for your barbecue there. Even when I was in Florida, we used to do our good old barbecue. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Matsumoto delivers. It is a breaking ball, swung on and missed. The count goes now to 2-2 on Nomura. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Our friend Living Room asks the question, he likes old-time Windsor stories. Did I ever go to Checker Flag? Actually, that wasn't my deal. Checker Flag was a old racing place. They used to do their bump and grind and the races back in the day. And the 2-2 pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike at the knees. And that is going to retire Nomura on strikes for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave it all up to Chusei Manami, who steps to the plate, who is 1 for 2 tonight. Living Room says he likes some of those old-time stories. Think of an old Wheels roller rink on Dougal Avenue. And that'll bring back some memories. And also the Rose Bowl lanes. There used to be a lot of bowling alleys in the city of Windsor. I think about it out here. I don't know where there's bowling alleys anymore. There used to be a 5-pin lane not so far from me. I don't think there's anything where I live now. So 2 away, that brings Chusei Manami to the plate. He's 1 for 2. He's singled and scored a run. He's bounced into a fielder's choice. There's runners at first and second. There's 2 away. It's a 5-2 Fighters lead here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And there's a fastball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. Shotgun says, I want to hear a linebacker story. I don't know if I got too many of those to tell you. Probably too many concussions to put them out at the time. But I do have a good story for you just on something else. We'll talk about that in a minute. Living Room says he also likes old automobiles. So no balls and 1 strike. I do have a good story with regards to some stuff that happens. We were talking a little bit. I was talking earlier today, 1 ball and 1 strike, as that was a fastball that misses upstairs. You know, you sometimes see people in your lives and you meet people and you see how people, they just don't have stick-to-itiveness. They quit. It's easy to quit things. It's easy to give up. And I remember my very first year that I was playing football at post-secondary, and some of the players from out of towns, they were staying in the dorms, and the dorms didn't have air conditioning. It was really, really hot. It was about 90-degree temperatures. And we used to call guys, the guys couldn't hack it because you were doing 2-a-days in 90-degree temps. There's a fastball that is delivered outside. Off to the races goes the runner, Matsumoto. He steals 3rd. I didn't see if the trail runner went with him. If Kiyomiya went, looks like Kiyomiya went down. It's a double steal for the Ham Fighters. So they're running wild on Kai here tonight. That's the 3rd and 4th stolen bases on my books. A double steal here. That's a pretty gutsy call. And everybody was safe. So runners are at 2nd and 3rd with 2 away here. There's 2 balls and 1 strike to Manami. So here comes the 2-1 offering. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 2-2. I started to tell the story. We used to call guys midnight cowboys. So what would happen is you'd be in the middle of training camp, and you'd have 3 or 4 guys, or 3 or 4 guys that would all of a sudden not show up the next morning to practice. And why is it? Well, because the physical contact of the sport, the heat, the dehydration, just the mental toughness, guys couldn't hack it, and they just decided in the middle of the night they'd wake up and there's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven into deep right center field. It's going to get up the app. That's going to score a couple of runs. Manami has plated 2. He's on his way to 2nd, and now he's digging for 3rd. Here comes the throw to 3rd, and he slides in safely, and Manami has a 2-run triple. And that is now going to increase the lead to 7-2 for the Fighters. And maybe now I'm going to change my mind on that one. Maybe now I can say that it is probably not going to come to life, that the Hawks are going to come back. That's a 2-run triple for Manami, and that's going to bring up Kazunori Ishii. This game is starting to get out of hand, everybody. 7-2 for the Hawks. Who would have thunk it? Based on the sparse attendance at this one, probably not the home fans either. But the big boss is excited, as Shinjo is up and fist pumping. So Chusei Manami does his job as he drives in a couple of more runs. He's got 2 hits now on the evening. It's a big night for him. And here comes the first pitch to Ishii. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. So our friend Shotgun Shell says, start the bus. Insane. So glad I took a 10.5 a few minutes ago, says Mr. Cap. The home fans are probably more surprised at the scoreline than we are. Probably didn't see this coming. Probably showed up to watch some baseball and didn't expect this to happen. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now at 2-2. I think Shotgun Shell said the other night we were only a couple of days away from a full moon. Maybe it's a full moon already in Japan. Maybe this is what's happening. Guys should change your betting strategies to bet only on full moons, or take the underdogs on full moons. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. And he kicks and delivers. It is a fastball taken at the knees for a called strike. And the count is now 1-2 to Ishii. Not sure about that one. The umpire there gave Takuya Kai the benefit of the doubt. It looked like the right-hander Matsumoto had missed his spot, and he had to go back across the other way. Mr. Cap is writing that one down. Make sure, do not take the favorites on full moons. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's fought off. Fouled over on the third base side, and that's going to keep the count at 1-2. Yeah, we were talking about the 2-a-days, no air conditioning, and players quitting in the middle of the night. We called them Midnight Cowboys. The guys would just get up on their horse and hit the road in the middle of the night, never to be seen or heard from again. Just the mental toughness and anguish that some players didn't have. Couldn't take it, couldn't cut it. And there's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 2-2. You have to have mental toughness to play sports, whether it be any type of sport. Hitters need to have that type of toughness when they come and bat. Can't be intimidated by the pitchers. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kazunori Ishii. And now he asks for time as he steps away, as he feels that Matsumoto has taken too much time. So we've gone from the starting pitcher, Ishikawa, who works like crazy, to where we got Matsumoto, who is working at a much slower tempo. I'll finish off that Midnight Cowboy story in a minute here with a follow-up to that. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded through the hole into right field. And that is going to be yet another run, as the Fighters have put up an 8th run on the board. So it is now 8-2, as that is a base hit single for Ishii. He has drived in Manami. That is an RBI single. And it'll bring up Daiki Asama. And I'm still thinking the Hawks still have a chance. That's my philosophy on this one. I'm not sold on the Fighters doing anything more after this inning. You've heard it here first. Well, for those of you who are still with us, you've heard it here first. People probably looked at the game tonight and said, Fighters, Hawks, we know who's going to win that one. We're not going to listen to this. So that brings up Daiki Asama, who is 1 for 1 tonight. He's also walked. He's scored a run. He's knocked in a pair. And here's the first pitch. It is a breaking ball that just misses upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. Vivid Life says, I think I heard 8 and vomited in his mouth. Yes, absolutely you did. And on top of it, we're also saying that the Hawks are not dead yet. I do not trust this Fighters team one iota. Living room still wants some TBQ. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 2-0. Shotgun Shell says, just make sure you don't vomit on anyone. Just keep it to yourself on that one. Good boy. Here we go. I do have some TBQ hot sauce, though. 2 balls and no strikes. And here's the pitch. I think they call it Valerie's now. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 2-1. So some Valerie's hot sauce. Mr. Cap says, what's the score? Well, it's been an inning here of a lot of runs by the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. They've scored 4 in this inning to increase it to 8-2 is their lead. So for those of you who are in here and putting your shekels down, I'm still saying that the Hawks are coming back here. So if I go for the back half of this ball game, I think the Hawks are definitely going to outscore the Fighters. So here's the 2-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. It's fielded neatly by the second baseman, Makihara, and Memori. He flips it over to Imamiya. That is going to do it. It is a fielder's choice for out number 3. And that will do it here for the Fighters in their half of the 4th inning. But there was a lot of damage done. They scored 4 runs in the inning on 4 hits. I've got no errors here, and I got 1 runner left aboard. And all I'm going to say is that the score after 4 innings, it is 8-2 for the Fighters. Hang tight, everybody. Cue the comeback for the Hawks. Don't go anywhere. This game has got a lot of life in it. Well, maybe not as much as we thought before. Hang tight, everybody. So awesome. Every time the living room says he goes up into the other room, the Nippon puts up a bunch of runs. It's probably that he's going to the bathroom or maybe to the kitchen or to the rec room. So if he's doing one of those type of rooms, don't leave the room so often. So now here comes the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks for their half of the 5th inning. It's going to be the 9-1-2 hitters, Takuya Kai, Masaki Momori, and Taisi Makihara coming to bat. The first pitch delivered to Kai is a fastball up and away. Actually, we're going to have a pinch hitter here, as it looks like they're already going to the bench. And I'll get you that in a minute. There's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So it looks like that Fukuoka, maybe they're waving the white flag here, as they do have a pinch hitter here coming to bat. I don't know who number 62 is. He's not on my roster. There's a breaking ball that misses, and the count is 2-1. I'll have to go and take a look, do the deep dive on this one to get that information. So Takuya Kai's night is done, and there's a fastball that swung on and missed. This here, it looks like it is going to be Takashi Umino. So I'll be curious to see if he is going to stay in the game after Kai here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2. That's always concerning when you're starting to see some of the substitutions come in early. It means I'm going to have to turn my scorecard into a coloring book. So let's see what they are able to come up with here. And there's a fastball swung on and missed. And Segura looks like he was overpowering. It looked like a Nolan Ryan fastball blown by a high school hitter. He had no chance. It's going to bring up the top of the order, Masaki Momori. Momori tonight is 0 for 2. He's lined out to right and he's grounded to short. We're going to have to see if we can get a couple here. Living Room says he had to go check on his chicken. Yeah, that's about how it looks. It is Picasso here. It's not certainly a piece of artwork. There's a first pitch breaking ball, take it for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Momori batting from the left side against the right-hander Segura, who kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is tap foul over to the first base coach's box. It's going to run the count to 0-2. I'm going to throw out some social topics here because I was watching the World Hockey Championships today, or was it yesterday morning on TV, that's going on in Finland. Helsinki is one location. I'm not sure where the other location is. Anyways, regardless, I'm watching the game. There's a split finger pitch down in the dirt. The count is 1-2. And I see the people in the stands. Not one fan is wearing a mask. Not one single fan that I could detect was wearing a mask. There might have been, but I didn't see it. None of the players, none of the coaches wearing masks. None of the referees wearing masks. There is a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted over on the third base side. Moving back on it is the third baseman. And that is going to be the third baseman, Nomura, who hauls it in, and that is going to retire Momori. So not one single person in the crowd, on the benches, anywhere wearing a mask, except in the penalty box, the game officials. All right. And also, when they came out at the end of the first period, they were doing an interviewer, and the interviewer on TV was wearing a mask, interviewing the player. So is it made for television that the staff that has to do it, or the reporters are doing it, are all wearing the masks? I don't know. I leave that up for you to decide. But it drives me absolutely crazy because I'm sitting back saying, where is this problem that we're living in here? But it is literally being masked up or being shown for television. There's a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Now, certainly our friends in Windsor there may have a different thought on it. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded up the middle. And Makihara has got himself a 2-out single, and that's going to bring up Yuki Yanagita. So I can't figure that out. I say that because it's absolutely insane. Our friend Shotgun Shell says, what a joke. It drives him crazy. I had a friend of mine who was just down in San Diego, and apparently in that area that he was in, San Diego, and I think he was in Long Beach, or maybe it was Newport Beach, can't remember. And apparently they've still left the signs up in that area for the masks, even though the mask mandates are down right now in California. And he said to one of his friends, he goes, why don't they take these signs down? And there's a fastball that misses outside, and people are still kind of gun shy in California saying, hey, we expect it to come back in the fall, so we're not taking the signs down. Otherwise, it's going to just be too much work to have to put it back up. And sometimes that's how we feel up here too. Are we going to have to put the signage back up? When's it going to come back? Because the steam of the Ukraine war seems to be slowing down. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is grounded into right field. It is going to be a base hit for Yanagita. It's going to put runners at first and second. It's going to bring up Yorizabel Graciel. And as I told everybody here, don't go away. The Hawks are not dead yet. I'm just looking at some of the stuff here. Our friend Mr. Cap says there's a vaccine, so we should treat it like the seasonal flu. Living Room says I missed it all. It's just because I was watching the World Hockey Championships. I just was, keeping an eye on the presentation of what's going on in Finland versus what's going on here. And that's kind of not really why I care or why I don't care. But I just find it a bit odd when the whole stadium, whether it be that, even watching the soccer game in England today, everybody in the stands, it's a little bit different what's going on in different countries and how we're handling it. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Mr. Cap says no one in his Home Depot wears one. Yep. So back to the baseball. That was my little rant for today when I was watching stuff on TV and how things are a little bit sometimes guided for television. So 1 ball and no strikes to Graciel. Here comes the 1-0. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is popped up into shallow right field. Moving back on it is the first baseman, Kiyomiya. He's going to make the catch, and the Fighters are out of a jam here as Graciel is retired on a pop-out. So maybe the Hawks are dead as we just completed the top half of the 5th inning. So for Fukuoka in their half of the inning, they had no runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th. And we've got ourselves a 8-2 ball game. Yeah, Living Room says he'd be wearing a mask in that setting, and I'm not going to argue with all that stuff. But what I am saying is I just don't understand it when you've got an entire crowd that's not, and then yet the 2 or 3 people that are in front of the the mics are. So we'll talk a little bit more about that when I come back. Hang tight, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's going to be 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up to bat. It is going to be Yuki Umbayashi, the catcher, Tatsuki Mizuno, and then Go Matsumoto. Those are what we have coming up. Our friend in the living room asked about the coronavirus in Japan. He says, do you bother keeping up with the current news in Japan or just try to focus on baseball? I just threw it out there for a little bit because I just happen to be watching the sports around it about and, just picking up some of the stuff. And I'm not saying anything else. I mean, I'll be brutally honest. When I get onto a bus or a public transit situation here in Lower Mainland, I'm going to throw a mask on when you're stuck in with 50 or 60 people that you don't know. It is a hybrid for a disaster. There's a breaking ball that misses down in it, and the count is 1-0. But if I'm walking down the street, I'm not really worried about that stuff. And there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. The situation in Japan is still actually a unique one. I do follow that as of today because you're still not allowed to travel to Japan, or Canadians or North Americans are not. We were looking to take a group of ball players over to Japan a couple of years ago. And of course, once the coronavirus hit, basically anybody who is not there for business or for work, you're not free to travel in Japan right now. There's a breaking ball that is fouled away, and the count is 1-2. And so, what they have an island nation, and obviously their philosophy is we want to try to keep as many people or any potential out as much as you can. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Umbayashi for the first out of the inning. And so, obviously when you have whatever 200 million people in Japan or 158 or whatever it is, if they want to keep their people safe, they don't want that to spread through, especially when you've got so many people living what I would call on top of each other in big cities like Tokyo and Osaka. There's a first pitch that is a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. So that's the kind of the first question there, and to answer what the living room is. So yeah, we do pay a little bit of attention to that. I don't care about the day-to-day stuff. I'm just kind of curious as to how things are presented a little bit differently around the world, especially with regards to the sports. So 2 balls and no strikes. Mr. Cap says that he has stopped wearing a mask at work because he lives in the desert and it's 90 degrees. Yeah, it also, too, depends on where you're at. I think that there are other places that are, that are more susceptible, especially at times of the year, to cold and flu and respiratory stuff. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is now 3-1. And as Finland says, you walk back in. You said Finland isn't an island nation. I know, I realize that. I understand that. And there's no connection to Finland and Japan being one to an island and one that's not. Just happened to be saying that I was watching the World Hockey Championships and commenting on the crowd versus the people who are in the seats as paid patrons versus those who are employed staff, how it is completely different and what is acceptable and what is not. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into center field. Cruising back on it is the center fielder. And that is going to be Yanagamachi, who hauls it in for the second out of the inning. And there's 2 up and 2 away. And that is going to bring up the top of the order, Go Matsumoto. And also, in talking about it, I'm not certainly somebody who is an anti-masker. That's not the case. Or somebody who is an anti-vaccine person. But you kind of raise your eyebrows a little bit of how we can go from one extreme to the other in terms of what's accepted and what's not from different places. There's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. But let's get back to the baseball a little bit here, because certainly the stuff that's going on in the world is beyond my scope, but the baseball isn't. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. As I said, I brought it up only because of just found it peculiar watching the games on TV, whether it be the hockey or the soccer today in England, just how it's very different in different spots. Here's the 0-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-2. So actually, I will get to back to one more point on this. When you do watch the Japanese games, everybody who is seated in the stands, there's not a single person that is not wearing a mask. That is the fans, that is the ushers, that is the attendants. Everybody is wearing a mask, except for the players and the umpires. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is now at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, Shotgun Shell points out, he says, last year in the 7th inning at the Cubs games, they would only zoom in on people with the masks on. Yeah, it's, the way that things are presented. There's a fastball that is down in the dirt, and the count goes to 2-2 now on Matsumoto. Living Room says, Japanese people cherish their elderly. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. They definitely, the way it is treated, the culture is completely different in Asia in a lot of ways. There's a fastball that swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and racing over is the right fielder, Ubiashi. He slides, but he can't make the play. It's going to keep the count at 2-2. I mean, in all truth and fairness, I want to get back and visit the folks in the city of Windsor because that's where they live. But, there's talk about how to do it. I'm going to probably do it this summer, and they feel more comfortable in that. But the thing is do you want to get on an airplane? How do you want to fly? How do you want to fly with people around you? It's a moving germ ball. And do you want to bring that back to your elderly parents? That's the other problem. There's the 2-2 pitch, and it's a fastball swung on. It's going to reach the seats behind the first base dugout. I mean, everybody's got to make their judgments. Sauce-up game is in the house. He says, wow, it's a high-scoring game. It is. For those of you who are here, it is a sauce-up game is on Twitter as he's checking in. So sometimes they don't always get the chats for Twitter. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded foul over on the third base side. The count is still at 2-2 to Matsumoto. Tigers have beat the Orioles 2 in a row, says Sauce-Up Game, and it is true. They've done that. That is pretty crazy. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball. This is swung on. It is looped into right field, racing over, and it's going to get down. It's going to be a base hit for Matsumoto. He is going to be here. Matsumoto's got himself a single. That's his third hit of the ball game. He entered the game tonight hitting .364, and he just continues to swing the bat. You got to tip your hat to Matsumoto. He is the league leader for sure. The ball got down in front of the fielder on a short hop. Our friend Living Room says, boo, boo, boo to Twitch. Tell them to defect to YouTube. The Tigers are only 8 games out of first. They could still make a comeback. For as trash as they've played, of course, prior to this series against the Orioles, you're absolutely correct. They've got a chance. So here comes the breaking ball. It is swung on and missed. And the count is 0-1 to Imagawa. But remember what I said, the Hawks are still coming back. Vivid Life is bouncing in here. He says the Hawks are batting now. No, it's still actually the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters in the bottom of the 5th here. There's 2 away with 1 strike on the hitter, Imagawa, with the runner Matsumoto on first. Matsumoto lives on the base paths. Our friend Shotgun Shell says he had Detroit today, but I had them with the Reds. Yeah, well, you can't win them all, especially if you got Detroit and the Reds. So no balls and 1 strike. Yeah, Living Room says Hawks are coming back, y'all. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Matsumoto kicks and delivers. And that is a breaking ball that is check swing on. They peel down to first base, and they say he didn't go, so that's going to run the count now to 1-1 on Imagawa. Living Room said, I wouldn't bet him dinner at 4-2, and now it's 8-2. Nope, not yet. Not yet. Have to have something to fall back on that one there. Not giving you 6 runs in the 4th inning. We're basically through 5 now. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that catches the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. What are we going to do? Well, you got to have some entertainment here when the score line is a 6-run ball game. They got to have something to cheer for. Just like in the Sapporo Dome, they got to sell some hot dogs to somebody. Or maybe it's a couple of Sapporos. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. Matsumoto holds the ball forever, and now he delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's tapped back to the pitcher. He fields it. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Imagawa. It's a ground out 1-3 for the 3rd out of the inning. We're going to get our proverbial Japanese halftime show coming in here. There were no runs, 1 hit, no error, and nobody left the board for the Fighters. Can't believe it. They got 9 hits in the ball game so far. That's pretty impressive. The big boss is taking an exit there as they do the halftime cleanup. We'll be back in just a couple moments, everybody. We're glad you guys are with us. Hold tight. We'll be back in just a couple moments after this from our friend, Steve Rademacher. Here you go, Steve.
Hey, guys, and thank you, Freddie. Steve coming back at you. That's right, Steve Rademacher. I would like to thank each and every one of you that is tuned into my channel. And today, let's do a little shout out for some other great channels you should be watching. There is WVogs 18. There's Big D's Sports and Collectibles. You all know another Hollis build. Why not Like Father, Like Son? That's a great duo that does some great stuff. It shows some great cards. And of course, the one and only Bud Stoney, creators of One of Ones. The creator of One of Ones, and they're all signed on the back. Bud Stoney, 1 of 1, like this beautiful Robin Yount that he made for me. He made me another Robin Yount, this time mini, and a Christian Yelich mini. Great cards, and he does more than cards. We have darts of Hulk Hogan and many other things. So give them a look-see and give me another look-see. Subscribers are always welcome, and back to Freddie.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be doing the out-of-town scoreboard. All games are underway except for one game that's now a final. The Oryx Buffaloes have knocked off the Chiba Lodhe Marines 8-5. That's your only final that is in the Pacific League. Miyagi got the win. Romero took the loss. Honda picked up the save. It was 8-11-1 for Oryx, 5-9-2 for Chiba. Your final score again, 8-5 for the Buffaloes. In some ways, I'm kind of glad I didn't put my predictions out today. I would have messed everybody up. I had, in that game, I probably would have had Chiba winning that one because of Romero starting. I think I didn't send out my odds today or put up my stuff. At the bottom of the eighth inning, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles are clinging to a 2-1 lead over the Saitama Cebu Lions. The Lions are threatening. They got runners on second and third with one away. The Taiwanese pitcher Sung is in the game pitching, and he is going to be trying to close that one out here, or at least hold him off in the eighth inning. 2-9-0 for the Golden Eagles, 1-7-0 for the Saitama Cebu Lions. Over in the Central League, we have some other games going on. The Tokyo Yakult Swallows are knotted up at 5 against the Hiroshima Toyo Carp. 5-8-0 for the Swallows, 5-7-0 for the Carp. That game's in the bottom of the seventh inning. The bottom of the sixth inning, the Chinichi Dragons have an 8-1 lead over the Yamuri Giants. 8-14-0 for Chinichi, 1-4-0 for the Giants. That game there has got a couple of home runs in it. Chinichi, in fact, they have more than just a couple. They've got two to be exact. It is Dayan Fisayedo with a home run, his fourth, the former White Sox. Ariel Martinez has his third for Chinichi. And the former Pittsburgh Pirate, who is looking to rebuild his career in Japan, Gregory Polanco, hit his seventh of the season. He's also hitting .279. They've got quite a power-laden lineup with the Amuri Giants. And the other game is the Hanshin Tigers look like they've righted the ship, I guess the best way to put it. And they have a 6-1 lead over the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars. And we do have a pitching change on the mound. It is going to be the right-hander. Usually in Japanese baseball, they give the number 18 to the team's ace. It is going to be the right-hander, Kosei Yoshida, coming into the ballgame. For those of you who don't know about Kosei Yoshida, he was the first overall pick in the NPB draft a couple of years ago. But he is a high school legend in Japan, and he is on to replace Segura. And the first pitch is a fastball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0. The bad news is for Fighters fans who have a lot of money here, he is also shown to be a gasoline can at the NPB level. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined to left field. Coming hard is Asama. He makes the catch on the run, and that is going to retire Nakamura for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that is going to bring up Tetsuro Yanagamachi. So Kosei Yoshida was the first overall pick. If you guys are taking a look, if you go onto our community page, I did an article about a month ago on Yoshida, and it talked about how many pitches he threw. He threw like something crazy, like 800 plus pitches over like a 10-day window in the high school tournament. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1 to Yanagamachi. He was an absolute legend in Japanese high school baseball. So here comes the 0-1 pitch to Yanagamachi, and it's a fastball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. So the big boss has really thrown his support behind him. He's basically said, like, you're my guy, and trying to give him some vote of confidence as Yoshida has had some adjustments to the professional ranks. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-2. But Yoshida at the professional level has yet to hit his stride. Although this year it's been a little bit of a different story. He is now starting to figure it out as he is basically coming out of the bullpen. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-2. His first 3 years, he had an ERA. He didn't have an ERA below 8.41. This year here, this is his 16th game. He's thrown 20 2/3 innings. He's allowed 10 hits, 6 walks. He has struck out 12. And now make that 13 as the batter, Yanagamachi, stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by for out number 2. And he has retired for the second out of the inning. And Yoshida is not a big guy. He only stands at 5'7". So when you think of small righties, this guy is definitely that and all of it. So he retires the first hitter on strikes, and that is going to bring up the right fielder, Seiji Ubiashi. So Ubiashi takes a first pitch fastball low for ball one, and the count is 1-0. So the living room asks a question I'll try to get to here. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into deep right field. Moving over underneath it is Manami. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Ubiashi for the third out of the inning. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. I'll get back to the chat here in just a moment. We are now moving to the bottom of the sixth inning as Kosei Yoshida comes in and does his job. He's getting high fives all around. We'll be right back in just a moment, everybody. I'll answer that question that the living room has brought forward, which is quite thoughtful. We'll be right back, everybody. Here's Steve.
Hello, friends. Steve coming back at you, a clean-shaven Steve. Thank you for watching The Last Raps Baseball. And please continue to support my channel among others, like Another Hollis Build. Awesome commercial. And now I'll show you a few more things that we do have. We have toys, like this bobblehead Star Wars on wheels. We have Noids. We can't keep avoiding them forever. We do have Legos. Love my Legos. We have Origami Folder. Check him out. He's new into this, getting started, has good following already. We have Red Beard Breaks. And we also have these things that, in a pinch, will tell you what your temperature is. So, if you like all of this, and if you like Last Raps Baseball, join all of us. We'd love to have you. And I know you would enjoy us. Thank you, peace, good night, and cheers.
Welcome back, everybody. There is a right-hander on the mound. It is going to be Bando Yugo. He is going to be the third pitcher now used by the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks as they are going into their bullpen. Not one of their regulars, but he is going to be used here tonight. So Yugo is on in relief. So our friend in the living room asked the question. He says, are there two separate broadcasts for the home and away teams like in North America? And the answer to that is yes. Each team has their own crew over there. Now, what I don't know and I can't answer is, do they have their own TV crew and their own radio crew? Because simulcasts sometimes are really poorly done. If you're doing the TV crew and you're throwing it onto the radio, they miss a whole lot. They really don't describe the game very well. So Kataro Kiyomiya, Yuki Nomura, and Chusei Manami are coming to bat here in the sixth inning. And here's the first pitch from Yugo. It's a first pitch fastball swung on. Lifted to straightaway center field. Camping out underneath it is the center fielder Yanagamachi. He makes the catch, and that is going to be one up and one away here in the sixth inning. That's going to bring up Yuki Nomura. So yeah, they do have a home crew. Now, as I said, I don't know if they necessarily do have a radio crew to go with it because, as we said here, now I also know that the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles used to have a English broadcasting crew a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and according to some of the expats that were living in Japan that were North Americans listening to the game in English, they were saying they were absolutely horrid. I'd never heard it, but they were basically not very good at all. There's a first pitch breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Nomura. So just based on what they said they didn't last very long and had a hard time getting people to listen if you can't describe the game. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1, so I don't even know who that was. So that's one thing. Are there different dialects in Japanese? And that part I really don't know. I know that in the Okinawa area, the people are, I don't want to say a little different. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2. In Okinawa, that's where the American military base is, so a little bit different down there. And so there are some dialects that are spoken that are different, but I don't think they call the games differently. And there's a fastball that misses down and in. The count is now 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a fastball swung on it. It is grounded up the middle. It's going to be a base hit. Yet another hit as the hit parade continues tonight for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. It's a single for Nomura with one out, and that's going to bring up Chusei Manami. For Manami, he is 2 for 3. He's got himself a single, a triple, and he's bounced into a fielder's choice. He also knocked a pair of runs in his last time up. Our friend Living Room says he's laughing at himself, my mind filling in the blanks. Our friend Shotgun Shell says the Pirates Crew TV talked about cotton candy for an inning and a half. It was if that was on the radio, it would drive people nuts. Absolutely. Sometimes what I'm not a big fan of, and you guys can tell me what your thoughts are. There's a first pitch breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. Is when they're doing the TV broadcasts, they'll show the guys in the booth, and they'll be talking to the guys in the booth when the game is going on. I could care less about the guys in the booth. I don't mind listening to their stories, but put them in the side corner. But show me the game. And I see that far too often in North America. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is absolutely scorched to left field. Could it be Manami has sent this one packing? A home run, a 2-run shot for Manami. He's now a double shy of the cycle. As an absolute blast. He's got himself another couple of more RBIs. And it is now 10-2 for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters over the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. But trust me, the Hawks are coming back because we've been calling it all night. I just feel it. Either that or it was the tacos I had for lunch. So 2 runs have crossed the plate here in the inning, and that is going to bring up the shortstop Kazunori Ishii. Our Shotgun Shell says, last Friday, top of the 5th, it was good stuff. He says, the damn Twitch kids. Looking at some of this stuff here. Yep, there they go. Yeah, it's only that's the part that bothers me a little bit is that they show their faces on the TV. You would never know who the Japanese broadcasters are, except you see them before the game for about maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and that is it. You never see them during the game. So we do have ourselves a pinch hitter now for Kazunori Ishii. We'll have to get you who that is in just a moment. And the first pitch is a ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So Ishii's night is done. This is going to be Kenshi Sugiya. So he is going to take over for Ishii. So our sheet is going to be a coloring book for sure. The box score is looking rather colorful now. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Our friend Vivid Life says, I'm going to bet $1 for every time the fighters score. There's a ground ball to first. It is fielded neatly by Nakamura. He steps on the bag, and that is going to retire Sugiya for the second out of the inning. That is going to bring up the left fielder Daiki Asama. I guess when you get into ball games that are 10-2, you got to start throwing out some topics out there that are going to be getting the audience or keeping the audience there. The Japanese broadcasts have good pipes. Well, I can tell you this, the Japanese broadcasts, they have some very entertaining shows over there. I've got some video that I may put into a commercial on an infomercial on my phone here, or in the broadcast. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. I videoed it off the TV. I have no idea what they're talking about. Our Shotgun Shell says he hates commercials during the inning. Absolutely. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. Moving back on the warning track is the left fielder Graciel. He can't come up with it. It's down. Racing into second is going to be Asama, and that's going to be a double. I don't think they're going to give that an error. He had to race back on that one, and he's going to get himself a base knock. That's his second double of the ball game. Our friend Shotgun Shell says that what they've done is they've split the screen on the show to show an ad. I mean, that part there I can actually live with. It's the fact that they cut right away and are showing you the broadcasters who are talking when the game is going on. And that part there drives me nuts. Our living room says, I have no idea what they're talking about. So the runner at second is Asama. That's going to bring up the catcher, Yuki Imbiashi. And he is officially 0 for 3 tonight. He entered the game at 1 for 10. His average has slipped from there. He swings at the first pitch, fastball, and fouls that one away. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. The funny part about Japanese, I don't want to say broadcasts, but they have some talk shows that the Japanese are on, is especially when the ladies get involved. I've seen some women do some crazy stuff, some of the broadcasters, including where they've taken swings at guys on their backsides with the plastic bats and just drilled them. I wish I could show you that part. There's a breaking ball that swung around and fouled off for no balls and 2 strikes. I've seen on Japanese television the former Dodger pitcher who's with the Minnesota Twins, Kenta Maeda, where Maeda will actually throw pitches and try to take off bottle caps. That was one of the tricks he was doing, is able to throw a pitch and can take off a bottle cap off a water bottle. It was crazy. They have all these kind of trick shows that they have with related to baseball. It's kind of funny. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and Imbiashi drives it into right center field. This ball is going to be caught. And Imbiashi has caught that for out number 3. There was 2 runs in the inning, guys, on the home run by Manami. We are on the cycle watch for him as he's a double away from the cycle, so we'll see if he gets another at bat. So 2 runs in the inning on 3 hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We'll be back here in just a moment. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes, and I'll ask a couple more questions or answer a couple more questions when we return. We appreciate you all being here. We're moving to the top of the 7th inning. It is 10-2 for the Fighters. Hopefully we keep this interesting. Here's our friend Matt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Appreciate you, Matt Hollis, and your support of our channel. And in turn, we like to support Matt. We are now moving to the top of the 7th inning. It's going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters in the batting order for Fukuoka. Our friend Living Room says, here's a cookie. I watched your video opening a fat pack. I haven't opened sports cards in 20 years. Used to get 11 cards max back in the day. Well, one of the things that we do is in the core business is we give cards away to kids who come to our programming. And the reason for that is we believe that you got to play, watch, and listen. And any way that you can connect kids to the game is something that you want to do. There is a pitching change here as Kenta Imamiya comes to the plate and he takes a first pitch for a ball down low, and the count is 1-0. The Fighters have gone to the bullpen again as Kosei Yoshida's day is done. And there's a fastball that's caught the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-1. It is Naoya Ishikawa in the ball game now, the hard-throwing righty. There are some changes defensively for the Fighters, and we'll catch up with those as they become available. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to right field. Racing back on it is Manami. He makes the catch, and Kenta Imamiya is gone for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away. So that is going to bring up it's scheduled to bring up the pinch hitter who came up last time, Takashi Umino. So I'm looking to see who it is coming up to bat in this situation. If we've got somebody different here. So 1 away in the inning, and here comes the first pitch. It is Umino, and it is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, so what we do is at the end of the hitting clinics, at the end of the throwing clinics, at the end of any of our clinics, even the group stuff that we do with the kids, there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. We give the kids the cards because in the marketplace where we used to live in Windsor, the Detroit Tigers being 20 minutes away, or at least growing up from 20 minutes away from Old Tiger Stadium, there's a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. The count is now 1-2 on Umino. You're always watching. It's in the news. It's in the media. It's on the radio. It's on TV. It's in your blood. It's kind of like, for example, living where I do now, the Vancouver Canucks are always on the news. Win, lose, draw, wintertime, summertime, doesn't matter. There's a breaking ball that's down. It's 2-2. Though the kids play baseball in this area, nobody really has that one team that they can call their own. I mean, the Vancouver Canadians are here, but it's the Blue Jays farm team, which is high A ball, which is now high A ball, used to be low A, and there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. That's grounded foul over on the third base line. It actually was fouled off the shin of the batter. It's going to keep the count at 2-2. But the problem is that you don't really have a team to call their own. People here, they kind of look at stuff and they're like, well, is this going to be, what are we looking at here? Is this going to be a team that we follow? They kind of follow the Blue Jays, they kind of follow the Mariners. There's a ball that misses low and the count's now 3-2. So who are you paying attention to? Well, that makes it more hard and more difficult for people to get excited about, right? So you try to connect the kids by giving them the cards, and sometimes we even give them homework. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted in the seats down the third base line. That's going to keep the count at 3-2. So you give them some homework, you tell them you go home, they got to research, they got to come back and report, because the kids are interested. They're playing, they want to know more. But they really don't watch the game, and they don't go home and turn on the TV and watch an inning of baseball, or they don't go home and watch the Blue Jays or all that stuff. There's a split finger pitch swung on. This ball is belted into deep left center field. Moving over on it is the center fielder Matsumoto. He makes the catch. And that is going to retire Umino for the second out of the inning on a fly ball to center. So 2 up and 2 away. And it is going to bring up the top of the order, Masaki Momori. So as I said, we give the kids the cards, and obviously it kind of gets them interested in it. Also for us as coaches, you get to find out who are the kids who are there playing, who are the kids that are actually there watching, who are the kids that are interested, who are the guys that know all the players who are hyped up, and who are the guys that are just kind of going through the motions. It looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter on our hands here for Momori, and the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. This is Isami Nomura. He has entered the fray here as he's now pinch hitting for Momori. So we'll get him into our coloring book now for the 7th inning. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-1. So Isami Momori. Now, the other piece to this is we do sell some stuff on our eBay page, and what happens there is the money that we spend, basically, do we make money on stuff? Yeah, we'll get stuff to collectors, and people will spend us the money and whatever else it is. As that fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 1-2. But at the end of the day, that's not really our core business. What we're doing is we're trying to be able to do it. And there's a split finger pitch that is swung on in the dirt, and that is going to retire the pinch hitter for the third out of the inning. That is going to retire the batter here on strikes, and so Nomura is gone, and he is history for out number 3. So that'll do it here in the top of the 7th. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're over to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is a 10-2 ball game, and stick around, everybody. The Hawks are about to make one of the grandest comebacks you've ever seen after the 8th inning. You heard it here first. We'll be right back in a minute.
Hello Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OP-Chi baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Thanks, Steve. And the way this game is playing out right now, I remember sitting at Old Soldier Field in Chicago back in the late 90s, and they were playing the New York Jets, and it was in the fourth quarter, probably about 13 minutes to go, and they were getting blown out, were the Bears, and it was absolutely freezing cold. And as the Bears fans were starting to leave, there were some drunken Jets fans sitting behind me that yelled out, "Hey, where are you guys going? Don't you know the Bears are coming back?" Of course, the Bears fans weren't too impressed by that. And anyways, that's how I kind of feel right now with the Hawks. Don't you guys know that the Hawks are not coming back, or are they coming back? And so they've got a new pitcher on the mound. It is going to be Fuji. We've seen him a couple of times. He was the former Hiroshima Carp pitcher. He'd been out of the league for a little bit. They do got a new left fielder and a new shortstop, and we'll get that to you in just a moment. So hang tight, everybody. Here we go back to the live action. It is going to be Tyson. It's going to be the second baseman Tatsuki Mizuno to lead things off here. Mizuno, Matsumoto, and Imagawa for the Hawks here in the seventh inning. And the first pitch is a ball that misses low. The count is 1-0. There's a fastball that takes the outside corner for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1. Mizuno today is 1 for 2. He singled and scored a run. He flew out to center. And he also walked and scored a run. So a couple of runs today for the 9-hole hitter, and he waves at a breaking ball. The count is now 1-2. So Hawks will win this game as soon as Steve gets a date with Amber Heard. There you go. So hopefully she's got her best Sunday wear on. Here comes the split finger pitch, and that is fouled away. The count remains at 1-2 to Mizuno. The pitcher Fuji here for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. We've seen him pitch a couple of times, and he's not that bad. I'm surprised they're bringing him out here in this situation, although I haven't seen him lately. Here comes the 1-2. Maybe he just needs some work. There's a fastball at 153 kilometers an hour. It's about almost a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that misses outside at 2-2. This is Koya Fuji. He's worked quite a bit this year. He's 3-0. And here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball. Swung on it, missed, and that is going to retire Mizuno on strikes for the first out of the inning. He is gone for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and that is going to be the top of the order, Go Matsumoto, coming to bat. So the only thing we have left is to see if Chuhei Manami can get a double to complete the cycle. And it looks like by our records, at the very worst, he'll be the third hitter in the 8th inning if they continue to retire the side here. So here comes the first pitch, although it is no longer Matsumoto. We're going to have a pinch hitter for him as Matsumoto's day is done. This is number 32. There is a breaking ball. I'll take it for a called strike. And the count is now even at 1-1. So who is the 32 on our list? This is Ryota Yachi. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Yachi. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2. Yeah, today there's definitely fights at the Hokkaido bat rack to face these Hawks pitchers. Matsumoto exits the game with 3 hits on the afternoon. And Yachi is down on strikes as he swings and misses at a fastball. So 2 batters up and 2 retired by Fuji by the way of the strikeout, and that's going to bring up Yuma Imagawa. So Ryota Yachi, you are finished. And Yuma Imagawa steps to the plate. He is 0 for 3 today. He's also got a sacrifice bunt. So here comes the first offering to Imagawa. It's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. And the right-hander kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on, and this is fouled away, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There's a fastball delivered by Fuji that's on the hands. He fouls it away, and the count goes to 1-2 on Imagawa. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. It is not a misprint on our ticker across the bottom. It is a 10-2 lead for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. And here comes the 1-2 offering. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is 1-2. Is Fuji going to be able to strike out the side here? This is the part that we are interested in. It looks like we may have a pinch hitter here. I thought it was going to be Imagawa, but it looks like they've got somebody else at the plate that we're not sure of. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed. It's picked up by the catcher. He fires to first, and that is going to retire the batter runner for the 3rd out of the inning. All of the outs come via the strikeout. We'll get you that last in a minute here, as it looks like that they did have a pinch hitter there for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. It was Yua Tamiya who had come in. So Yua Tamiya is retired, and that is going to do it. And it looks like we're going to have yet another pitching change here for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. But for the fighters in their half of the 7th inning, there was no runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left the board as Fuji strikes out the side. We're now through 7 complete. It is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks trailing 10-2. But cue the comeback. It is about to happen. Hang tight, everybody. And our Twitch guys are back on again. This time it is whoever else. We're not sure what they have. Or base battle or something like that. We've been warned. Great. Appreciate you being here. Love it. We'll be right back after this.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole. A little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play. But you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We'll be back here in just a moment. The living room is having some fun in Twitch, directing all those people over to the other side. Hang tight. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Taisi Makihara steps up to the plate, and here's the first offering. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded to first. A nice diving play by the first baseman, Kiyomiya. And he is going to race to the bag and retire Makihara for the 1st out of the inning really quickly. 1 pitch and 1 away. And that is going to bring up the schedule to bring up the DH Yuki Yanagita, but we're going to have to check here to see if he is indeed going to get his swings here. As we say, we're having to make sure that we're keeping everything on song because there are a lot of changes being made left and right. Our lineup card tonight looks like a coloring book. It is Yanagita, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. The Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters also have a pitching change. Our friend Troy is back in the house, and he's pumping up the Tigers, hoping that they can get a victory And here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a fastball that swung on and missed. And the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Yanagita waiting on the 1-1 offering. And here comes the pitch. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses off the inside corner, and the count is now 2-1. The new pitcher in the ballgame for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. We'll give you that update here in a second. This is Yuri Furukawa, as he is entering into the ballgame here. This is former Yomiuri Giant and Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagle. And here comes the 2-1 offering. It's a fastball that misses up and away. Count now is 3-1. So a lot of former players in this side over here. The Fighters are probably 2 or 3 years away or drafts away from being competitive again. We said earlier, when you take away 3 big stud arms, Irvin Shotani, Arihara, and they move them to Major League Baseball, 3 domestic players who are pretty tough to replace. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is belted to left center field. Moving over underneath it is the left fielder, Asama. He makes the catch, and that is going to do it here for Yanagita. He is gone for out number 2, and that is going to bring up the left fielder, Yurizabel Graciel, but he is done for the evening, so we'll get you that pinch hitter in just a moment. As we said, it is wholesale changes all over the place. Keep your eraser handy. Everything's sharp. So 2 away, and that brings up number 13 for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. And that would be Masahiro Nakatani. The first pitch to him is taken for a strike, and the count is 0-1. So Nakatani batting now for Graciel. And here comes the 0-1 offering. There's a breaking ball from Furukawa that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Katani had moved into the left field as a defensive replacement the last inning. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. Our friend in the living room has said he has sent out our demands to the people of Twitch. There you go. Pounding the drum, letting them all know. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the pinch hitter, Nakahita. Or I should say Nakatani. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is now 2-2. Well, the one thing that we're all going to have to, they appeal down to the first base umpire, and they say, no, it's not 2-2. It was actually a strike, and the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. There is 2 away here in the 8th inning. We want to see if Manami is going to get that cycle. Curious to know. That was one question I wanted to know. When was the last time there's been a cycle in the NPB? And there is a fastball swung on, fouled away. It fouls off the mask of the catcher and hits the umpire right in the center of his chest. That staggered him a little bit. It looks like he's going to be all right. It's still going to keep the count 2-2 here. So here comes the 2-2 offering. We're hanging in here with you in a 10-2 ball game. I often wonder about some of that stuff. Our friend earlier, Billy, was saying about the cotton candy with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think when you get into these type of games, when the scoreline is this far apart, those are the topics that might have to keep it interesting. There's a split finger pitch swung on in the dirt. It's blocked by the catcher, Umbiyashi, and he fires to first. And that is going to retire Nakatani on a strikeout 2-3 to end the inning. There's no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th. As I said, probably the biggest part right here is the 3-hitter coming up in this order, or in the 8th inning, is Chusei Manami, and he is a double away from hitting for the cycle. Let's keep our eye on that. We'll be back in a minute, everybody. Thanks for being here. Hang tight. Here's our friend Steve again.
Hello, friends. Steve coming back at you, a clean-shaven Steve. Thank you for watching Last Reps Baseball. And please continue to support my channel among others, like Another Hollis Build. Awesome commercial. And now I'll show you a few more things that we do have. We have toys, like this bobblehead Star Wars on wheels. We have Noids. We can't keep avoiding them forever. We do have Legos. Love my Legos. We have Origami Folder. Check him out. He's new into this, getting started, has good following already. We have Red Beard Breaks. And we also have these things that, in a pinch, will tell you what your temperature is. So, if you like all of this, and if you like Last Reps Baseball, join all of us. We'd love to have you. And I know you would enjoy us. Thank you, peace, good night, and cheers.
Welcome back, everybody. We are hoping that there could be some history. They do have a pitching change. It is going to be number 35, Levon Moinello, the Cuban left-hander who can really heat it up. He is coming into the ball game to replace Fuji. There have been 76 cycles in the history of the NPB. And we are going to see if one of them is going to happen here in just a couple moments. So Moinello is on in relief. It's going to be Kotaro Kiyomiya stepping up. The first pitch to him is a fastball that misses inside for ball one, and the count is 1-0. Last season, there were 2 cycles in the NPB. Shugo Maki of the Yokohama Dara Bay Stars did it against the Hanshin Tigers. And Yasutaka Shiomi did it for the Yakult Swallows against the Amuri Giants. Both of those were in the Central League. There's a breaking ball that misses in, and the count is 2-0. The last Pacific League cycle was done by Yuki Yanagita of the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks against these Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters at this place, the Sapporo Dome, April 21st of 2018. There's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is now 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. And there's a fastball from Moinello that almost hits Kiyomiya, and that is going to be ball 4. Kiyomiya is aboard with a base on balls. That's going to bring up Yuki Nomura. For Nomura, he is 1 for 3 today. He has singled and scored a run. He struck out looking grounded to first, and he also walked, and it was erased in a fielder's choice. So Nomura to bat here. We are going to get a pinch runner for Kiyomiya as Nomura steps to the plate. I also looking to see when the last interleague one may have taken place. And when that would have been, or when that would have happened to have taken spot. Comes the first pitch. It's a fastball that misses in. So Moinello's come into the game and he's thrown 5 straight balls. Here comes the 1-0 offering from Moinello. He kicks and he fires. There is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to third. They throw it out to second for 1. Back to first. It is a Hawks double play. That's going to go down as a 5-4-3 double play to erase 2 in a row here. And that's going to leave it up to the right fielder, Chusei Manami, with his shot at some history here. It's not a natural cycle. It's bounced into a fielder's choice. He singled, he tripled, and then he homered. So he's going to try to scorch something here to give himself a chance for the double. So he stands in on the right side, and the first pitch is a fastball swung on and missed. And the count is 0-1. I'm trying to find out if there has been any interleague, as I said, interleague cycles. So since 1999, I haven't seen any. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. There are some players in the history of the game who have hit for multiple cycles. One of them would be the last one to do it is Kazuki Fukuoka, who did it for the Hanshin Tigers against the Chinichi Dragons. Comes the 1-1 pitch from Winello. It's a fastball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count is now 1-2. You don't often get a chance to see this. Triples are of the fewer variety. So anytime a guy's got an opportunity, was a former major leaguer or former North American player, Bobby Rose, did it 3 times in his career. Did it in 95, 97, and 99. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed. We're not going to have history tonight, as Manami is history. He has struck out for the 3rd out of the inning. For the Fighters in their half of the 8th inning, there was no runs, there was no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 8 complete. It is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 10, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks 2, and the big boss is pretty happy about this one tonight, as they have themselves a pretty healthy lead. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. We'll be with you after this. Here is our friend Steve again. Hold it down for us.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Thanks again, Steve. We appreciate you and your support of our channel, and we also, in return, support Steve Rademacher. As I said, I go backwards, and I really don't see anybody here where they have had the interleague. I don't know if that is Ryotaro Imeno, who did it for the Tigers, but he did that against Yokohama at the old Koshin Stadium. That's a Central League one, but I'm not 100% sure where that is at. But that is what we're looking at here. So we are going to be looking at the hitters coming up for Fukuoka in their half of the 9th. Scheduled to come back, it's Nakamura, Yanamagamachi, and Ubiyashi. They do have yet another pitching change, it looks like, here for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. We'll get that here. It is number 58, Masaki Tanigawa, who's coming in. And here comes the first offering to Nakamura. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Well, it's too bad we gave you guys a clunker tonight. We did not, if we were going to see a 10-2 game, I definitely did not have it in favor for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters, so I'm pretty glad I didn't do any publishing of what we thought might happen. There's a check swing grounder over to second. It's fielded neatly by Ayachi. He throws to first, and that is going to be a ground out 4-3 for out number 1 here in the 9th. After the conclusion of this game, we will give you guys a full roundup on the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll lock it up that way. We've got our friend changing his names. Looks like our friend in the living room has got more time on his hands these days. So here comes the breaking ball as he's joining multiple Twitch accounts. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Yanagamachi. So here comes the 0-1 offering. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count now goes to 0-2. Some of you guys can only see what's going on in the chat on the Twitch. That's what happens sometimes. So no balls and 2 strikes. You have the replacement here, Tanagawa, is on the mound as he is facing Yanagamachi with one away. Here comes the 0-2 offering. He kicks and he fires. It's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-2. Sometimes there's nothing worse for hitters when they are down in the game by this much amount and they still have to come up and try to give competitive at-bats. You're looking for good swings, good at-bats in these situations. Here's the 1-2 offering. It's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 2-2. The pitcher for the Fighters here, Tanagawa, is the 5th pitcher used on the evening by the Big Boss. That is where we stand here. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And Tanagawa kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball that misses inside. They appeal down to the third base umpire, but they say that Yanagamachi didn't go. And the count is now 3-2. Shotgun Shell says the roundup may take a week or so. Yeah, we might just do the condensed version of that. We're going to give the out-of-town scoreboard once this game is completed, because this wrap-up and the rundown of this one could be forever. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Yanagamachi. And here comes the 3-2 pitch. I think next time in the future, we get a game like this, we're going to practice some other things. I'm not going to tell you what it is right now. There's a strikeout as a fastball is taken at the knees for a called third strike. That is going to retire Yanagamachi for out number 2. I'm going to have to put together, I got a couple things in my mind. I'll put a plan together. I'm not going to be talking about candy for 3 innings. I can guarantee you that. So 2 away, and that's going to leave it up. I've got it to Seiji Ubiashi. However, we're going to see if they're going to have a pinch hitter for him. The living room has kept us entertained, that is for sure. So here comes the offering, and there's a fastball. This ball is swung on. This ball is belted deep right center field. And moving underneath it is the center fielder. And that is going to be actually, it's going to retire Ubiashi for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the 9th inning for the Hawks. So the greatest comeback in NPB history did not happen as we thought. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are completed here. The Sapporo Dome, it is 10-2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to give you the out-of-town scoreboard, and then we're going to call it a night. We appreciate you all hanging in here with us. This was definitely a tough one. We wanted to hang out with you. Hang tight, guys. We'll be right back.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now. And back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. We have all games are now final in the Pacific League. The Tohoku Rocket Golden Eagles broke their 4-game losing streak by knocking off the Saitama Cebu Lions 3-1 tonight. 3-10-0 for Tohoku, 1-7-0 for the Lions. Norimoto got the win for the Golden Eagles. Ends takes the loss. Yuki Matsui got his 11th save. Jose Marmoleos went yard for the Eagles, his 4th of the campaign. Again, the final 3-1 for the Golden Eagles. The Oryx Buffaloes knocked off the Chibalote Marines 8-5. Miyagi got the win. He goes to 2-2. Romero takes the loss. He's 2-3. Honda picks up the save. 8-11-1 for the Buffaloes. 5-9-2 for the Marines. Your final 8-5 in Osaka. Other scores in the Central League. The games are still going on. It is 5-5 in the top of the 10th. The Tokyo Yakult Swallows are all knotted up with the Hiroshima Carp. 5-7-0 for the Swallows, 5-8-0 for the Carp. The bottom of the 8th inning, the Chinichi Dragons are holding a commanding 9-3 lead over the Amuri Giants. 9-16-0 for Chinichi, 3-8-1 for the Giants. The Giants are still batting in their half of the 8th inning. There's 2 out and 1 on. The top of the 8th inning, the Hanshin Tigers have a 7-1 lead over the Yokohama Dana Bay Stars. 7-10-1 for Hanshin, 1-6-1 for Yokohama. Hanshin is batting in the top of the 8th inning. And again, your final here, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks fall to the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 10-2. It was 10-12-0 for the Fighters, 2-7-0 for the Hawks. There was a home run for each team in the ball game. Yanagita hit his 6th. Manami hit his 5th. The win goes to Segura. The loss goes to Ishikawa. Again, your final score, 10-2. All right, everybody, once again, we appreciate you guys all being here. Makako or Kovo says, do the carp game, bro. Can't do it. Can't do any of the carp stuff. We're going to have a great night. Our friend Shotgun Shell says, the cotton candy drama was no joke. Pink versus blue, they mixed it up, and they had a head-to-head battle for it. We appreciate you guys doing it. We're looking to possibly do the game tomorrow. The Mets and the Mariners. We'll make that a late decision. It depends really on the weather here. If the weather here is poor, we'll probably do it because we're not going to be on a field somewhere. If the weather is good, well, then we're probably not going to do the game, but we will make that decision at about 7 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, and you'll see it up on our channel. All right, everybody, once again, we appreciate you all for being here. Makako Garkovo for popping in here late night. Thank you, as always, for stopping in. Billy, the living room, Troy, everybody else who popped in, Vivid Life, all of our friends on Twitch, Mr. Cap, anybody that I forgot, we do appreciate y'all for supporting us. Have a great night again, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Remember, later in the week, we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff, but may not be until the following week until we get into interleague play that we're going to be doing the NPB thing again. But then we are on for sure because we'll be up at 2 in the morning doing all the interleague action we can. Have a great night, everybody.